Grim bloke. Yeah. And then, yeah, bruv. Yeah. You bruv. In it. Grim bloke. Let me tell you about this one time. I went through a porthole and snuck into the North Pole and got picked up in a Hyperborean DeLorean. They said they knew I was a Webster Merriam historian, mastered a numerical Gregorian, the hysterical mystic, no more than a Pythagorean, conspiracy theory Therium in the etheric fear realm. I thought they were gonna take me to the crematorium in their Hyperborean DeLorean. Tested me on my Sumerian, Shakespearean, knew I was a numerical vegetarian, Aquarian, that I knew about the Tartarians, barbarians, Mars radium, aliens. Salt of the earth, solution Selenian. Spent the night in a Hyperborean chamber. I looked around and thought, bruv, who hired the painter? Hyperborean memoriam, auditorium.
What's up, everybody?
I got picked up in the
welcome back.
DeLorean. Introducing.
Get a thumbs up in the chat.
All love. Jack Ruff. Yeah. Invisible diamond minerals, crystalline and swimming pools, interdimensional realms of scrapping Catherine, Bahamas,
thank you, Maggie.
Atlantis shores, mountains, temples,
Sojo?
marble floors, sea floors, treasure and cities lost. Yeah, bruv, in it. Oh, sphinxes, pyramids and minotaurs, fruit grown in grove luxuriant. In it. Inhabitants intelligent, closest seen to perfection. The whole experience, heaven to them, polar aurora, horizon beyond them. Flattened sky, lake of fire, core and flora, but bright comets, tornadoes, turbulence, not prohibition, more. Not forbidden, thought expansive, places massive. In it. Yeah, bruv. In it. Oh. Just hanging around.
Best night of the week.
Yeah. Telling stories in the Hyperborean DeLorean. Grim bloke. Jack bruv. In it. Just hanging out around. Oh, Jack bruv. 888892. If you didn't know, now you're forever.
What's up, Mr. S? Good to see you. Welcome back, ballers, to episode 29 of Eye to Eye with AJ, Rambo, and Cody. Welcome back, everybody. As I always say, best night of the week. Great to see everybody. Rambo, can you hear me, my friend?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Right back at you. Cody, how are you, my friend? Can you hear me?
Good. Can hear you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Appreciate you guys joining as always. And shout out to the chat. Looks like we got a lot of folks in already, ready to get started. Let's jump into it. I got a big announcement for those that don't know. My name's AJ. Go by Ball Don't Lie. 3 L's in Ball. I just completed the Charlie Kirk book, everybody. I was thinking about calling it Charlie Bit Me, but after further thought, I was like, it just might send off the wrong message. So I decided to call it Sorry, Charlie. The e-copies are available now. They're available for free. All you guys got to do is email me at wordplaybook with 3 O's in book at gmail.com. I've also ordered 15 hard copies. Okay, they're in production starting today. I should have them as early as next week. So if anybody is interested, please message me. It could either be via email or you guys can DM me on Instagram. Just find a way to reach out to me, and I'll make sure to hook you guys up. The hard copies are going to be $11 for the Patreon members and $31 for anybody that is not a Patreon member. Those costs include shipping as well, right? So the whole pick, pack, and ship. But I'm really excited about this one, you guys. It's 62 pages, packed with visuals. So it's not a heavy read. It's a very quick read. I think most of you guys could probably get through it in 20 minutes, if I'm being honest. But very excited about this one. You know, the 31 and 11, right? Charlie Kirk died at age 31, the 11th prime number, and this just so happens to be my 11th book. So I'm proud of this one. I hope you guys enjoy it. And Rambo and Cody, I've also sent you guys copies as well. So just make sure to reach out. Appreciate the love. Cody, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself for those who might not be familiar with you and your work.
Yeah, thank you, AJ, once again for putting this on, and great work on your book. I've had a chance to read part of it so far, and guys, make sure you check out his book, and if necessary, give him a little something for his hard work he's putting in. So we appreciate him. And as far as me, you can find me on Decoding with Cody on YouTube. Some of you are watching on this channel right now, as we are back on my channel after the month reset on my hours. But you can find me there, Decoding with Cody. And also you can find me, support the channel for my channel as at buymeacoffee.com/decoding with Cody. And thank you to everyone in the chat. Look forward to you tonight. And thank you, Rambo, for being here as well. And look forward to diving into all this stuff with you guys. So
Yeah, we got some good stuff as always. So appreciate you, Cody. True blessing. Rambo, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, Cody. Thank you for being here. Thank you again, AJ, because you're the one who's put this all together. We wouldn't have come together if not for you. And thank you for the copy of the book. I look forward to seeing it. And as we'll see today, I still have a lot more on the Charlie Kirk. This is a major event. This is one of those major ones. You don't just talk about it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and then it's no longer relevant. This will resonate for several years, So yeah, I appreciate. I look forward to seeing the book, and as you'll see today, I have more to add to that, as does AJ on that topic. But so yeah, I do have another video that I just released on my Patreon yesterday, and that can be found at patreon.com/thetruthcodes. I also have put up a post on Instagram. I'm at instagram.com/thetruthcodes, where I have some short posts there. So shorter attention span platform, but I do post on Instagram as well. Those are the two places you can find me. And yeah, it's only one tier on Patreon, $5 a month. And you have access to the Codebreaker community Discord server, which is access to the community as a whole. And there are a lot of amazing Decodes by the community that you can see there as well.
Absolutely. As always, I attest to that. It's one of the best Discords I've been a part of. You get a double dip, if you will. You get all of Rambo's content. He even leans on a lot of folks that follow him and support him. And once again, $5 a month, you guys, not a day, not a week. It's the best deal in town. And without further ado, Rambo, I know that you mentioned that you have a little treat for us today.
Yeah, well, it's the intro to my latest video. My latest video is called The Hand of God. Do you have the screen there?
I found it. Yep. Here we go.
Okay. All right. I'll
Perfect.
it should be 5 minutes.
The world's biggest sports event, the quadrennial FIFA World Cup of Soccer Football, will commence on June 11th, 2026, hosted primarily by the United States, but co-hosted by Canada and Mexico. This is about way more than just football or soccer. The Economist magazine's World in 2026 year preview issue features planet Earth as a soccer ball. So yes, this transcends sports. Rewind to The Economist's The World in 2017. Donald Trump, who will preside over the 2026 World Cup, was featured on its cover in a tarot card theme. The cover combined pairs of tarot cards into one card. Donald Trump was on the Judgment card, which was paired and combined with the imagery of the Emperor card. Trump sitting on top of the world with the empirical orb and scepter. Trump will be presiding over the World Cup. The 2026 World Cup will take place with citizens of several participating countries banned from entering the United States. One famous icon who was individually banned from the United States is a GOAT, greatest of all time of football, Argentine Diego Maradona, who won the 1986 World Cup for Argentina. On the road to winning the 1986 World Cup, in Mexico. So Mexico co-hosts a World Cup 40 years later. Diego Maradona cemented his immortal status by scoring what has been dubbed as the goal of the century. And by also scoring in that same game the infamous Hand of God goal, eliminating England at the quarterfinal stage. Again, this has to do with way more than just football. What made the June 22nd, 1986 Hand of God game so significant was the context in which that game took place. It was the first meeting in football between England and Argentina since the Falklands War of 1982, when Argentine military forces invaded the Falkland Islands British colony off of the coast of Argentina in an inexplicable attempt to forcibly retake the territory. As remote and inhospitable as it is, the Falklands War ended in a resounding defeat of Argentine forces at the hands of British forces under Margaret Thatcher as Prime Minister 4 years later. This was the backdrop to the England versus Argentina World Cup quarter-final game that was determined by the so-called Hand of God, which was actually the illegal use of the hand of Diego Maradona. The Falklands War ended on the famous or infamous date, June 14th. That was in 1982. The 36th birthday of Donald Trump, who even Time magazine has displayed leaning back with legs crossed, an allusion to the emperor of the tarot, l'empereur in the French Marseille tarot. Donald Trump, who is said by some extremists to be a harbinger of the building of the Third Temple in Jerusalem.
Fantastic, Rambo. I got a chance to actually catch the full video last night. It's like 30 minutes, right?
It's actually 18 minutes. Yeah, thank you. It's 18 minutes, including the intro, but that's just part one. I probably have, let's see what's going on here.
Even the hour.
I don't know. This thing plays by itself.
It happens.
Yeah, it's been happening. Yeah, so that's including the intro. It's 18 minutes, but I have part two, maybe part three as well. I don't want to do too much because I figure maybe it's better to release 15 or so minutes at a time. So for now, yeah, what I have for part one is 18, 19 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was already jam-packed with just 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
A lot more to it. I like how you tied it back into the video you did prior with the Berlin.
Yeah, because so many of these elements are related. That's the thing. So you can do a different topic and still be you find yourself discussing ritual elements of a decode you did before, or some, because it's a web. So many of these elements will manifest in across multiple topics, you could say.
Right. Absolutely. Should we dive into a loose, free future pick based off of kind of what we've been talking about with Charlie Kirk and the green and yellow, the underdog themes, so on and so forth? I'll take the lead on it really quick. I kind of had an epiphany the other night. I called Rambo in the middle of the night knowing he would be up. I appreciate you taking my call, by the way.
Yeah. No problem.
But I got really excited because for those that have been following this stream for a long time now, each of us have been talking about different themes, and it's amazing how they're all starting to come together in different ways. And for one, with Rambo, talking mainly about, not mainly, but just one of the biggest things that we're going to talk about here is the green and yellow themes, the amount of upsets that are taking place in the world of sports, soccer, football, basketball, you name it, and the underdog themes, right? And with all of the Charlie Kirk stuff I've been working on with the latest book, let's not forget, you guys, that Charlie Kirk was a Ducks fan. Why the heck was he a Ducks fan? If somebody in the chat knows that, let me know. But I couldn't really find anything other than that he was just a big diehard Ducks fan. And sure enough, for home games now, they're even laying flowers and saving a seat for him at, home games in Autzen Stadium. But it started there. For those that don't know, despite the Oregon Ducks year after year being a very, very good team, they just haven't gotten across the hump. I want to say that they've been to 2 national championships, but they lost both of them. So it started there, but let's reel it back a little bit about what's happened this past year, right? We had the Super Bowl back on February 9th earlier this year when Kendrick Lamar raked Drake through the coals, so to speak, with his halftime performance. And if you guys had missed it, take a look at Kendrick Lamar's full name. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, huh? Well, that's interesting because a Drake, shout out to you, Rambo, I didn't know this until you brought it up, that the definition of a Drake is a male duck, right? So we're talking football now. We're going from the NFL, and now we're segueing to the upcoming football playoffs. I believe the official bracket doesn't release until December 13th, but I'm going to put it out there right now, you guys. It would not shock me at all if the Oregon Ducks finally get over the hump this year, just in light with everything else that we've been talking about. So I'll pause it there. Rambo, I know you have more that you want to add.
Yeah. So in light of all of that, there is some esoteric significance to the duck, and also to the whole saga and narrative of Charlie Kirk. And if you give me my screen, I'll show you some of what I'm talking about. Yeah. So what I did was I took a look at the assassination scene, the scene where Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Utah Valley University. And so a lot of ritual elements come together here, and they're based on astronomy, astrology, and mythology, Greco-Roman mythology. And also, so there's something I've talked about in previous videos, which related to things like Back to the Future, other pop culture references, Coldplay, and that was the theory that the planets were aligned differently than they are today in ancient times, and that's illustrated across the entire world. The same symbols across every single culture, literally across the entire world, every single culture will show these images, and they're identical no matter where you are, which seems to indicate that the sky looked different. And this is based on the work of Immanuel Velikovsky. He popularized this theory, and David Talbot he kind of picked up the ball from where Velikovsky had introduced to people, and then he went and looked at those and he translated those ancient images and how they related to cosmology, ancient cosmology, and does tie into mythology. You can see how that dovetails with Greco-Roman mythology as well. Well, the theory is that Saturn used to be Earth's sun. And when Saturn was Earth's sun, Saturn was placed directly above Earth and was closer to Earth. And between Earth and Saturn was above the North Pole, was Mars. So it actually served as Mars's sun as well. So you had Earth, above Earth is Mars, and above Mars is Saturn. Which, I mean, that was the theory popularized by Velikovsky, but I've shown how they've coded that into a lot of modern day phenomena, including the example I gave was the Boston Bruins logo and Back to the Future. And this is a song by Coldplay that I referred to, Viva La Vida, about a king losing his crown. It was the gist of the song is I used to rule the world. The song is Viva La Vida by Coldplay. I used to rule the world. And that's a reference. Well, the exoteric explanation is about the French Revolution, the French aristocracy that lost its status after the French Revolution. But the esoteric explanation to that is it's about Saturn. Saturn used to rule the world and was demoted, sent to a remote location, and then was replaced. So the location that Saturn is the location of the North Star, which is Polaris. It's very important. Polaris is the point around which the stars rotate in a counterclockwise direction in the northern sky. Obviously, they rotate very slowly. You don't realize they're rotating, but they do very slowly around a central axis point, which is the star Polaris. And so to say Saturn was in that location, well, obviously Saturn, the stars are very distant. It's just that Saturn would have been obscuring Polaris because from Earth's vantage point, you'd see Saturn, but behind Saturn would have been Polaris, and it would have appeared that the stars were rotating with Saturn as the axis point, which is Polaris. So just an explanation of what the star Polaris is. Polaris is a star in the northern circumpolar constellation of Ursa Minor. Ursa Minor means the little bear. And I think if you're aware of Charlie Kirk and the teams he supports, you can kind of see where they're going with this. The little bear. Ursa Minor, that's Polaris. It is a designated A Ursa Minoris, and it's commonly called the North Star, which is an apparent magnitude that fluctuates around 1.98. It's the brightest star in the constellation and is readily visible to the naked eye at night. The position of the star lies less than 1 degree away from the north celestial pole, making it the current northern pole star. The stable position of the star in the northern sky makes it useful for navigation. So that's Polaris. So when we think of Polaris, Ursa Minor, the North Star, it's referring to the same thing. So here's what it looks like. So this is Ursa Minor. That's the little bear. The bear's upside down. This is Ursa Major, which is the big bear. And what's Charlie Kirk's favorite football team in NFL? The Chicago Bears. What's Charlie Kirk's favorite baseball team? The Chicago Cubs.
The Cubbies.
He supports the Bears and the Cubs. How interesting.
Yeah, and Rambo, I'll just throw in there. I want to say it was a week after his assassination in college football, you had Colorado playing against BYU, the Mormon school, right? And Utah obviously being the Mormon state, but the quarterback of BYU wears number 47, very interesting number for a quarterback. But his name is Bear. So I just want to throw that in there. And of course, you had a Colorado shooting the same day as Charlie Kirk's assassination. So you have that tied in. And the score at halftime was 10-14, Charlie Kirk's birthday. But Bear being the quarterback's name, that was so
get this. Right before all this happened with Charlie Kirk, like literally just days before, we got a cat at my mom's right after my stepdad's car accident. Guess what they named him?
Bear?
Yeah. Yeah, they named him Bear.
Wow.
Like I didn't have any choice in it. They didn't know any. They don't know anything about gematria. They didn't know anything about, and they didn't even know. None of us knew Charlie Kirk was going to happen. We didn't know anything about it. But it's just the organic matrix, man. Every time you turn around, just like what happened with me and Sean this weekend, and like my parents just happen to name this new cat Bear right before all this goes down. And yeah, anyway, what I really want to say too is that as soon as Rambo's talking about all this, I realize that like I can connect everything he's talking about with one thing, the Mighty Ducks. So think about this, all right? And someone in the chat just also added to this, which blew my mind. Somebody said something about the Minnesota North Stars, the hockey team. Well, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be easier if I talk about this after where I can show my page. But so you guys know who the main character in the Mighty Ducks is, right? They wear the green and yellow, right? So pull up Charlie Conway. Charlie Conway is the main character in the Mighty Ducks. Now, Charlie Conway is coached by the brother of Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez, who plays Gordon Bombay in the movies. Well, Gordon Bombay in the movie is from Minnesota. Minnesota, the hockey team that Gordon Bombay connects to just by happenstance of that, is the Minnesota North Stars. Because in that movie, like if you go to the wiki, like I have it up here. If you go to the wiki, I have it up if you just want to share. I got the page up.
Yeah. Let me pass it over. Sorry.
So and look at the colors they chose for their wiki page for this this show, of course. So I mean, isn't it interesting too that the Oregon Ducks wear these same colors and then the Mighty Ducks had these colors? So it's clear that they did this. But look at this. So here's Charlie Conway, right? He's played by a guy, Joshua Jackson. Well, this connects to what Rambo already talked about with the World Cup, because remember, we talked about this before, but Joshua Jackson, he's born on June 11th. Now, Joshua Jackson, so he connects to the World Cup, he connects to the Mighty Ducks, and he connects to, well, which connects to the Oregon Ducks. And then he connects to Charlie Sheen because the guy who coached him in the movie is Charlie Sheen's brother. Remember, Charlie Sheen was in the news at the time of this. But again, let me just show you where it says Gordon Bombay. Bombay grew up in Minnesota, right? And again, let's just bring up the Minnesota North Stars. And then as soon as Rambo started talking about the North Star, like the Polaris, I was like, wow. But look at the colors of the Minnesota North Stars.
Nice.
So does that not all connect perfectly? Like it obviously all centers around the Mighty Ducks movies, because like here you go, you got Charlie Sheen, you got Charlie Kirk, you got the Ducks, you got the green and yellow, the North Stars right here. Like it's all in one movie.
Right.
And of course, Minnesota is now in Dallas, which still has the green. They don't have the yellow anymore. But yeah, and it's just I think there's actually even more to it that I haven't even put together yet. But somebody in the chat actually, I don't know who it was that said the North Stars, but somebody said that the motto for Minnesota is something about the North Star, the North Star. So yeah, it's just, and remember earlier this year, I did a decode when Putin met with Trump. It was in Alaska, and Polaris is literally on Alaska's flag. And of course, you think of Alaska, you think of bears also. So it probably ties back to that as well. But yeah, I think I'll just, end it here and let Rambo continue. But I just wanted to add this to kind of put all the pieces together, like clearly together. So, yeah, I'll have to look more into the connection with Charlie Kirk and Joshua Jackson, Charlie Conway. And think about his name, Charlie Conway, like a con, artist. So yeah, and this guy was in a lot of other stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah, shout out. I don't remember who in the chat mentioned it, but he was also in the movie The Skulls with Paul Walker about Skull and Bones.
Right.
And ironically enough, I grew up a Ducks fan. I grew up in Orange County, so that's my team. And shout out Apache, mentioned that we were talking about that Colorado BYU, those connections. The most famous bar in town of Colorado shooting is Little Bear. Interesting.
Wow.
Good one.
So yeah, I mean, and remember in the movie, Bombay approaches his boss, whose name is Ducksworth. So you have the Duckworth connection even,
Yep.
and then look at Adam Banks is like so you got even a banking connection here. I mean, these were my favorite movies growing up. So, I mean, it's interesting to even think about how my whole childhood was just a big code watching these movies, but that's what it was seemingly.
So yeah, there is another NBA Duck connection to Oregon. Kevin Duckworth used to be a center, used to play center for the Portland Trailblazers in Portland, Oregon. I don't remember Kevin Duckworth.
I don't.
I just thought of it right now. I guess, yeah, I'm older than you. I remember, Kevin Duckworth. He's pretty high drafted. He's one of those who are drafted really high, but don't really. I mean, I guess they don't fulfill the expectation of a high draft pick. Kevin Duckworth of the Portland Trailblazers. So that's a connection to Portland. I just thought of it right now. Oregon and the Duck. So Kevin Duckworth. I have to look out on his birthday and stuff. I just thought of him right now. Yeah.
This riddle just keeps on building. Yeah, Apache.
No, it's like that with everything. Yeah.
Apache elaborated, saying Evergreen High School, right? That was where the Colorado shooting took place the same day as the Charlie Kirk assassination. And so in Evergreen, a small town, their most famous bar is called Little Bear. I think that's a big one.
Yeah. Okay. So so I'll play some of this. Hopefully,
The world's biggest sports event,
to illustrate what I'm
quarterfinals,
talking about.
forcibly 36th birth.
I'm gonna
Donald Trump.
show this is David Talbot's video, which illustrates. I think it's a good illustration of what I'm talking about from David Talbot's video.
Yeah.
They called Saturn the best sun. Best sun, superior sun, exemplary sun. The core idea always pointed directly to the axis of the sky, the celestial pole around which the heavens visually turn. As improbable as it may seem, this is where the Egyptians located their primeval sun god, Atum. This motionless spot in the heavens is precisely where later astronomical traditions from Greece to Persia and China all claimed that Saturn had ruled the world, a contradiction of every principle we take for granted today.
Yeah, hopefully it'll stay paused this time. So yeah, so that illustrates what I'm talking about. So I think David Talbot. So his video is called. You can see it on YouTube. "Symbols of an Alien Sky" by David Talbot, which I've talked about before. So that should. So what he's talking about. So Polaris, which is on the tail of the little bear, the cub, used to So this was the point around which the stars would rotate, but this is where Saturn was at this location when it, like you said, it used to be Earth. Sun was. So that is where you get this axis. That's where you get the term turning point. That's actually what they're referring to. They are referring to the axis point around which the northern stars rotate. This is literally the turning point, which is why they have him as a Cub fan. That is a reference to Ursa Minor, in which you have the little turning point. The turning point is in the little bear. And so this symbolism is all there. And there's more. It's not just, and I'll show you how Erica Kirk, hopefully the video stays paused, unlike last time. I'll get to where Erica Kirk clinches this. That is what turning point refers to. That's the turning point. Polaris. What is Polaris also known as? It's known as the North Star. So yeah, Charlie Kirk
Makes me think of polar bear.
Yeah, polar bear. Yeah,
The polar bear.
yeah, because they live in the North Pole. How interesting, right? They live in the North Pole. That's the only place they live.
Yeah.
Well, just to illustrate Cubs, Charlie Kirk. There's been other Cubs rituals based on this little bear uh, constellation. So here's the clincher. That it's not just me saying it. Erica Kirk will say this is right from the horse's mouth.
What's happening is the team is keeping this alive because we have Charlie in each and every one of us, and it is going to be continually the North Star of the conservative movement, of the voice.
She said it.
She looks hideous. By the way.
I'm just the messenger. She said it.
Unbelievable.
She said the North Star. She's referring to Turning Point. What is Turning Point? This is the turning point. Polaris in the Cub. She said it. She said North Star there. So yeah, that's the kicker. That's the clincher. But there's also the scene of his assassination. You can see this figure here. It does look like it's a Chabad Lubavitch menorah. That's a very unique menorah. It does look like that, which has 8. But besides that, it looks like home plate in baseball. Like even just a home icon you'll see on a website, when you go home, it's that icon. It's just a generic, universally recognized symbol for home. It's a home plate. This is what it looks like from a direct aerial view. You see that home plate? So this is also a astronomical reference. It is a reference to the constellation of Cepheus. It's called Cepheus the King, which ties into Greek mythology. Cepheus is a king in Greek mythology, and they named this home plate shaped constellation. Well, it's shaped that way when they connect the dots that way. Who knows what makes them connect them like that way? But this is from earthsky.com. Cepheus the King, the constellation that looks like a house. Here are the shorts. Again, it's Cepheus the King. It looks like this. That's what this is. And what are the initials of Cepheus the King? CK, which is Charlie Kirk's initial. So yes, this is Cepheus the King. CK. That goes into that as well. And here's a closer image. Do I have a look? Yes, of how close it is to Polaris. So Cepheus the King is here in the northern sky, the home plate, and there's Polaris in the tail of the little bear. So you have the Cub. And he's a Cubs, Charlie Kirk, the Cubs fan. You have Cepheus the King, CK, with Charlie Kirk's initials, and the location at which he's assassinated has the shape of the Cepheus the King constellation.
This is unbelievable, Rambo. Can we get a couple thumbs up or some claps in the chat, you guys? This is unbelievable stuff, Rambo. Seriously.
Yeah, well, thank you. I appreciate it. So that's what this is. These are too many elements to be a coincidence. And she said it. Erica Kirk said it in her own words, talking about Turning Point will be the North Star. And again, so look at the proximity that the North Star, in her words, is to CK, Cepheus the King. They're right next to each other. Now, there are other related constellations as well, which is in proximity to this. And that is, we showed Oregon, the O, who's a Ducks fan. A related animal, I say from the same family as the duck, is like the goose and the swan and the duck. They're all from the same family. Well, the duck fan is the fact that we're asking why is he a Duck fan? Well, we know why they say he's a Cubs fan. We see how it all ties in. It's Ursa Minor. Why is he a Ducks fan? They're on the other side of the country. You could say, well, he's from the Chicago area. Of course he's a Cubs fan. All right, so why is he a Oregon fan? That's on the other side of the country. The duck is from the same family as the swan and the goose. And this is the constellation of Cygnus, which is the swan. And it is also in close proximity to Polaris. So this is at the top, you can see Cygnus. This is Cepheus the king over here. So this shows you how, at least, and here's Polaris right here. They're all together. That's why all these elements show up in Charlie Kirk's narrative. So is this a duck directly? No, it's indirectly a duck because it's from the same family. But this is the duck. This is that home plate shape of the location where he was assassinated. It's Cepheus the king, CK. Those are his initials. And then you have the bear, Polaris, which is the turning point, or the North Star, which is in Erica Kirk's words. So all these elements of the Charlie Kirk narrative are based on the astronomy of the northern sky. So this is the duck. So the main feature, which is very symbolically important, of the duck family, duck, swan, goose, is their feet. Their 3 toes. Ducks have 3 toes, 3-toed feet, as do swans, as do geese. So I don't have an illustration here, but there's a secret society hand sign where the 2 middle fingers are put together like as if they're one finger, and then the outer 2 fingers, the pinky and the pointer finger, index finger, are separated, and it imitates 3 toes. So the 2 middle fingers are like one. Now that's a famous hand sign of the Crips street gang of mainly the Los Angeles area. And Kendrick Lamar, he shows affiliation to the Crip. He does the Crip Walk dance. Serena Williams at the Super Bowl when Kendrick Lamar was performing at halftime, she showed up and did the Crip Walk. She's from LA. Well, the Crips have a hand sign, which is, it comes from secret societies. They're part of secret societies too. They don't grow organically and get that status on your own. One of their hand signs, and Kendrick Lamar has done it, imitates that the duck foot, which is the 2 fingers separate and the 2 middle fingers together to illustrate 3 toes. It's a reference to Cygnus. It's a reference to the duck as well. Another symbol, you could say animal that has the 3 toes is also the reptile, like a dragon or a reptilian symbol also has 3 toes. And right next to Cygnus is Alpha Draconis. This is all, they're all close together. The Draco, again, and what do Draco and the Cygnus have in common, which is Cygnus symbol to the duck? They have the 3 toes. And it is a very popular, you'll see it in popular culture. Kendrick Lamar does it, the Crips do it. A lot of soccer players do it, I've noticed. They'll celebrate goals, they'll do that symbol where they'll put, similar to the Crip sign, it's 2 middle fingers together to symbolize the 3 toes of, it's also Draco and the duck. So Lamar Duckworth doing that hand sign, well, he's imitating a duck foot. So it goes deeper than that. But it also is related to the Draconis. The Toronto Raptors, they have a draconian symbol for their logo. And they have multiple, iterations of their logo. One of the Toronto Raptors symbols is the 3 toes or 3 claws of a raptor, which is a reptilian. You can see what that has in common with this. They're talking about constellations that are all together, close to each other.
And yeah, really quick, just to piggyback off of that, Rambo, let's not forget Drake, being at Game 1 of the World Series where his Toronto Blue Jays were in the World Series. And we've talked a lot about the O, right? The Oregon Ducks. But just think about Toronto, Toronto. There's 3 O's in that as well. And shout out to whoever it was in the chat, just kind of bringing us full circle, pun intended, about some of the videos you've done, Rambo, about Kirk and circle and the circle, right? So we're talking about Polaris and rotation, right? So it kind of ties right back into the turning point stuff as well.
Yeah. So that's the rotation symbol as well. That it's a turning point, but that is the turning point. Erica Kirk, she said it. North Star, she said it. So this is just an illustration of this is Cepheus the king, the home plate shaped. and here's Draconis with the, there's your 3 toes of the dragon, and then the swan also has 3 toes. They're all together, and there's Polaris. There's Polaris. There's Draco, the Draconian. That's the Raptors. That's the Toronto Raptors. This is what they symbolize. And this is Drake, a male duck. You can see how it's all tied together in these constellations here.
Unbelievable.
So, yep, yeah, that's it. That's my presentation on that. You can expound on that.
That's freaking incredible, man. Cody, you got anything you want to chime in on this? Rambo,
Well,
awesome job, man. Seriously, that is unbelievable.
Thank you. I'll do a video. I'll do videos on this. And thank you.
I mean, yeah, everything's kind of coming together in my head now, especially with this Mighty Duck stuff. And now I'm realizing that. Oh man, like, so the Minnesota. Okay, so going back to this. So the Mighty Ducks, again, came out in 1992. Okay, well, Charlie Kirk was born in 1993. So not far off, but 377 days after the Mighty Ducks came out, that's when Charlie Kirk was born. Well, that's the 14th Fibonacci number, which is interesting because the word dead equals 14, and it's a big number with dead. Of course, I mean, but the big thing was, I noticed, I've been using these alphanumeric ciphers a little bit, but if you type in the Mighty Ducks, it just happens to equal 377, which is the amount of days between the Mighty Ducks movie and Charlie Kirk's birth. So that's interesting. These alphanumeric ciphers I've actually found to be pretty interesting and important. In the other alphanumeric cipher, the metonic cycle equals 235, and the metonic cycle is a 235 moon phase period. So I know there's something to these ciphers, and this is just another proof of that, because you got a perfect amount of days with this movie. That's the title of the movie right there. Notice that it's the Mighty Ducks is 3 words and 14 letters. That's also interesting, like a circle, pi. But more crazy than that, what I find interesting here is this connection back to the assassination riddle, because first of all, look at the gematria of the Minnesota North Stars, 262. And I've talked about this number in connection with the upcoming Super Bowl. But look how many games the Minnesota North Stars played in their existence. 20,062, which is essentially remove the 0, you get 262. That's what they're. Are you kidding me? The franchise that equals 262. That's how many games they ended up playing. But look at the logo for them. It's a turning point. Like if you think about it, look at how the logo is designed. If you turn it on its side, it reminds me a lot of that logo from the Back to the Future in a way too.
It reminds me too of the subway, as Rambo's pointed out.
The subway.
The subway has that arrow that points out at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, and if you flip it on its side, you can say like you're going one way, and then you have to come back, and then it's pointing you to your North Star. So it's perfect. Just the logo and how it's kind of an arrow, just like the subway, just like the turning point has the arrow. I mean, obviously it's a bit different, but it's still the same theme. But look at when they played their last game. Look at this. April 15, 1993. So the year Charlie Kirk was born, and on Abraham Lincoln's death date. Who, remember, we've already connected this to Abraham Lincoln. If you measure from the actual death of Abraham Lincoln to Charlie Kirk's death, it was exactly 666 Mercury years, right? That was huge. What's the odds of that? And then we find out that this is clearly connected, and their last game was on that was Lincoln's death anniversary from his assassination. And then where did the team move?
Anyone?
Where did the Dallas North Stars move to? To Dallas. And who's the other big president that was assassinated? JFK.
JFK. There you go.
So think about that. It's obvious that the Minnesota North Stars are like a key point to this now, especially connecting the Mighty Ducks movie, which connects us to Minnesota, which connects us to this. But also, on top of that, remember I said it happened the same year. Well, look at this. If you go from the Minnesota North Stars last game to Charlie Kirk's birth, 5 months, 29 days, whose birthday is that? That would be JFK, and that's where the team would end up going. So their last game was on Lincoln's death day, and then they moved. That was 5 months and 29 days before Charlie Kirk was born, and that's JFK's birthday. And look at the exactly 26 weeks. Well, how many seasons did the Dallas North Stars play? 26 seasons. So they played 26 seasons, and then exactly 26 weeks after their 26th season ended, Charlie Kirk was born. And again, the same year. And then I showed you, and then the 529 is obvious because that's the JFK connection. I think there might be something with this 182. I see it a lot. I see that. But look at the day. So this is the 105th day of the year they played their last game.
Well, Cody, really quick, with the 182, it always just makes me think of the middle point, right? Like 182, the 182nd day of the year is essentially the halfway point of the year.
Right.
So you think about like a turning point, you're halfway there, now you're coming back.
Right. That's a good point.
What I mean?
That is a really good point, actually. That's the midpoint of the year. Wow. And then maybe Blink 182 is connected as well. Anytime I see that number, the first thing I think of is Blink 182. But
you're preaching to the choir on that one. But by the way, it's called Blink 182 Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. And I don't know. I'm just wondering. I could have sworn I saw 182 before, but the point is that it's clearly connected to all this it's interesting. The last game they played was against my team.
Yeah, it's funny because, if we do get into kind of my presentation from earlier today, this also ties into the Lakers, because think about Luka leaving Dallas, right, going to the Lakers from Minnesota. But shout out Myron. He taught me that actually the Lakers originated in Detroit. They played one season as the Detroit Gems before moving to Minnesota. So now you got kind of that triangle going too.
It's weird how like when you look at all these West Coast teams, all of them come from, Ohio, or a lot of times it's Ohio or Michigan team. Like I've looked at many teams. I can't remember the one I was just looking at yesterday.
You know what? One exception would be the Arizona Coyotes. You guys remember the Arizona Coyotes? I don't know exactly where they originated, but once that franchise collapsed, where did they go? Utah.
They just moved. Yeah, they just moved to Utah. So
think about that. Charlie Kirk's memorial in Arizona. He was killed in Utah.
And they called him the Mammoth. I'm wondering how that connects. Mammoth. You're thinking about the ice. When you think of Mammoth, you think of like the Ice Age. So I'm wondering how that connects to Charlie. But that also would connect to ice hockey, maybe. I mean, that's why they called him the Mammoth. It's ice hockey, Ice Age. But yeah, I mean, and then considering how perfect this riddle really is once you really put it all together, it's really crazy, like especially with this guy being born on June 11th, which just takes us right back to this upcoming year, which was what Rambo started talking about. So, and I'm just wondering, I'm just wondering, like, how I'm sure that if we look more into it, these pieces are going to really look at. They lost 17-0 in their first game, the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
So that reminds me of what Rambo was talking about last week, that he was talking about a team that lost 18-0 or something like that, or 18-1.
Yeah, that was in that soccer movie with the guy from Sandlot started.
Yeah, the Big Green.
Yeah, the Big Green. Yeah, they lost their first game 18-0 in soccer. Yep.
Huh. Yeah. So, what else was I gonna say?
Well, when you think about the father-son thing with the Mighty Ducks, correct me if I'm wrong here. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but Josh Jackson's character Charlie, right? Didn't his dad die or something? So like he doesn't have his dad, but he has his mom.
Right.
So you have that kind of father-son connection there as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, this father-son thing, again, you guys, this is such a big thing. And, what happened this weekend was absolutely insane. And I might just save all this for me and Sean's video because, we were talking about father son, and then John Cena just comes out and just says father son. I never heard him say that once in his whole career, and then he just waits till now, right after we did a video about it. But yeah, this connection too with Emilio Estevez, being again just reiterating that he is the brother of Charlie Sheen, and Charlie Sheen was doing a podcast on the day that Charlie Kirk was shot with Joe Rogan. So it just perfectly connects. So like no matter which way you take it, if you take it, the Mighty Ducks seems to be a very central, and we touched on this in the in one of our streams. We touched on the Mighty Ducks, but I don't think at the time I realized I knew it was connected, but now looking at all this, especially the North Star connection that Rambo brought in, it just confirms the North Star connection. It confirms the Polaris connection. And then I keep thinking of also earlier this year. Was it this year? The guy with my last name died, Phil Robertson. And he was a Duck. He was known for the Duck Dynasty, right? And he died. When did he die? Let me look him up because.
Yeah, remember we were doing I know you did a video and I did one myself as well about just Duck Hunt, Duck Dynasty. Don't forget about that Mormon shooting / fire, where the info about him was that he liked to hunt ducks.
Right. And remember he had the shows with his sons, right? So you got the father son stuff there, and his sons are still, I think, doing shows. But yeah, he had the Duck Commander Company, and I connected this to Donald Trump, right? I mean, Donald Duck. It's possible that all this just revolves around Trump too, being Donald, the Donald Duck connection, and then all this Duck stuff just kind of circles around that. But this guy, he died on May 25th this year, and he was born the same year as Trump,
May 25th. That's George Floyd's asphyxiation date.
Right, he died on George Floyd's date, and then he was born the year of Trump. Interesting, he's born on 4/24. Well, that's big, actually. He's born on 4/24. Well, Trump, that's his number. I think and to be honest with you, I think that's the most important number with Trump out of all the numbers, because that number is his number in Hebrew, and that's the number they actually equate to him in Jerusalem, which is why he touched that wall at 4/24. And then Messiah ben David in Hebrew also equals Donald Trump. It equals 4/24 in Hebrew. So I mean, call me crazy, but we know the 88 is important to Trump. We know all those numbers are important, but I would think that the 4/24 is especially with this narrative we're talking about. We're talking about Jerusalem, the temple, Trump being 4/24 in Hebrew. So this guy, born the year of Trump and born on 4/24.
So is it Donald Trump or just Trump in Hebrew?
It's Donald Trump, I believe.
Oh, all right.
I did a whole video on that, actually. I wish I knew where my slide was so I could show it, but I can't remember how many days that is before Trump's birthday either. I'm going to do a quick look at that. So yeah, 51 days. So he was born 51 days before Trump. Trying to think about how that would.
I wanted to shout out to whoever was in the chat. This was an older comment that stuck in my brain about the Patriots and a duck. So Cody, if you just go to Google and type in Patriots duck, apparently an NFL fan brings his duck to the Patriots game in Foxborough.
Really?
I don't know if that was this weekend or what. I think it was.
Well, I mean, I was going to mention the Patriots because I'm really starting to be on them more and more as time goes on, because Drake May, right? The more we talk about ducks, the more Drake, the duck connection. But
there you go. Quarterback Drake May bringing a duck to the game.
I'm trying to see. So
if you just go to news, it'll show.
Meet Dawn. Okay. Sounds like Dawn.
Dawn the duck.
Wow. Meet Dawn, the viral Rhode Island duck who stole New England's heart at Monday night's Patriots game. Wow. Wow. Just wow. I mean, I was going to talk about this too. I was going to talk about Drake May because of that duck connection, but I had no idea about this. So, I mean, Now I'm really starting to be on the Patriots. I really am starting to be really thinking about the Patriots. And remember, this is another big reason I started thinking more about the Patriots because, first of all, the Patriots and Colts rivalry was huge. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts are going to be involved in this, that the Patriots would actually beat them in the playoffs because that's what they always do. But anyway, the logo for the Patriots is the Flying Elvis. Do you guys know that?
No.
They call this the flying. This tells you the importance of Elvis once again. Elvis is so important. Literally, they call their logo the Flying Elvis. And think about how I've already connected the Super Bowl this year to Elvis. It's in Levi's Stadium, which is just an anagram of Elvis. So Elvis is in your jeans.
Time out really quick. So you're talking about like the white guy on the helmet, and they like wave it. It's called
the Patriot logo. His name is Flying Elvis. That's what they call him.
I did not know that.
So that's huge. And then, like I said, Elvis is connected hugely to the San Francisco Super Bowl. Remember, it was the halftime show in that Super Bowl was the Elvis impersonator. Right? I think it was 1989, which was also a snake year like we're in now. So it would not surprise me that, and that might also explain why the Patriots were so good. And remember, Tom Brady, this is also important to this. Tom Brady, how many days before Elvis died was Tom Brady born? Just a mere 13 days. I mean, literally, Tom Brady was born August 3rd, 1977. Elvis died 13 days later. What's the death card in tarot? The 13th card. So, and then when was John Cena born? Same year Elvis died. Now John Cena's retiring. But now the Patriots are back, being the Patriots again. And here's Tom Brady saying he cloned. I saw something, I think it was a parody account, but this is something that is spreading across the internet because Tom Brady supposedly cloned his dog or something. But then there was this thing I saw today that Tom Brady cloned himself when he was 23. And guess how old Drake May is right now? 23. And I did see a picture where Drake May does look kind of similar to Tom Brady, maybe like he could be. So Drake May, is he just the resurrected Tom Brady? Are they going to have another dynasty from this team? I don't know, but it already seems like they're building that. I mean, yesterday I knew they were going to win, right? But it was on Aleister Crowley's birthday, and Patriots equals. So again, just to reiterate, Rambo always is the one that brought this cipher to us, this bacon cipher, but Patriots became 11-2 yesterday, and Patriots equals 11-2, but their coach, Mike Vrabel, went to a Jesuits high school, and the Jesuits operate in 112 nations, and they became 11-2 yesterday on the date they could be written 1-12 if you write it internationally. 12-1, 1-12. So that was a clear win. That was an easy one. And they pretty much handed the Giants easily. And then Drake May, pretty much perfect. I mean, he was showing off, right? And they were talking about him before the game about how his Tom Brady, how he has to live up to the legacy of Tom Brady. And Drake May is actually born on 8/30. And Tom Brady's born on 8/3. So they essentially have the same numerology in their birthdays. And if you measure them apart, it's like there's some 8/3s in there. And of course, we know football equals 83. Drake May actually equals football. He equals 83 like football. So anyway, and then let's go back and look at the story with the duck because, of course, again, I didn't know this story. This all I was going to say about Drake May, and then we get this. I didn't know this. So this just makes it even more clear.
Yeah, shout out again to whoever that was in the comments. I apologize. So many comments are flowing through, but major shout out to you.
And this was last night, right? Yeah, at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough was holding a duck, and the crowd around him absolutely loving her. Meet Dawn,
the duck.
a 1-year-old duck from Providence, who has somehow become one of New England's most unexpected celebrities.
It was Spadium. So shout out to you, Spadium. Awesome work. Thank you for helping build the code. This is awesome.
So let's see. Dawn's story starts in the most ordinary place, the dog food aisle. So we got the dog connection. Dogs chase ducks, right? Let's see. So Thames walked in for a bag of kibble and walked out with a duckling. Okay, so this connects the the dog stuff too. He walked in for a dog food and came out with a duck. So this obviously has the serious tie, and then we have the duck, and now we have the bear. So all astrological things.
It's funny that they play in Foxborough too.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking about that too. Foxborough, Fox. Yeah, so Dawn, of course his name is Dawn, right? And
Donald Duck ducked in his assassination attempt. Donald ducked.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. Like it seems to all revolve around Donald Duck and Donald Trump, right? That's probably why all this duck stuff is circulating around, and probably why Charlie Cook connects the duck, which connects us to the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, the dawn is also the beginning of a cycle. It's the beginning of the
Right.
sun cycle in the day.
Yeah.
There's a sun cycle symbol there.
Yeah, and then the duck, that made me think of that too. Somebody says the Duck Hunt video game where you always see the dog holding the duck. Whoops.
Oh yeah. Yeah, isn't that like when you win, the duck or the dog runs out and catches the duck that you killed in the game and it holds it up, right?
Right. So when the guy from Duck Dynasty died, I actually did a video with this, like kind of created a thumbnail off of this because I clearly connected it to that. Like I was thinking he was the duck commander, the duck hunter. And when he died, I was like, well, this, I don't remember my connections to it, to be honest. I have to go back and watch my own video, but yeah, clearly the dog and duck also connect, right? And Donald Duck also, what's the dog in that realm?
There's Pluto and there's Goofy.
Pluto. Yeah, that's right.
There are two of them. There's Pluto and Goofy.
Right.
Yeah, shout out Sean. Goofy, opposite of Sirius.
Oh, there's also a Daffy Duck. Elmer Fudd hunts in Looney Tunes, which has a Michael Jordan connection. He acted with alongside the Looney Tunes. Elmer Fudd, he hunts Daffy Duck. As well.
That's
In fact, one of the more famous, I guess, skits or episode you could say from Looney Tunes was Elmer Fudd. He's hunting rabbits and ducks, and so there's a dispute between Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck as to whether it's rabbit season or duck season. So Bugs Bunny is saying it's duck season, and then Daffy Duck is saying no, it's rabbit season. With Elmer Fudd, yeah. So he's the other.
Well, that's important too. I'm so sorry, Rambo. I don't want to cut you off, but let's think about the Super Bowl. We got Bad Bunny, Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
So there's that connection too.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Right.
This also kind of ties in, I think, to the World Cup, which is about to start. They deliberately, they wanted, for symbolic reasons, Donald Trump had to be the U.S. president at the time the United States was hosting the World Cup. Donald Trump had to be president. That's why Joe Biden had to have the 4 years. He couldn't have consecutive terms because for ritual, esoteric, occult reasons, it had to be presided over by Donald, and Donald's the duck. And the president of the world governing body for soccer, FIFA, that's the world governing body who, oversees these things. He's been just notoriously, just shamelessly, like a lapdog to Donald Trump, just shamelessly. They had their annual General Assembly. It was in Paraguay, I believe. And the president of FIFA showed up 2 hours and 17 minutes late, 2:17, Michael Jordan's birthday. But the president of the organization showed up 2 hours and 17 minutes late, and the European delegation walked out on him because they're the only ones who have the power to do that. But he's bald, and to me, it's not an insult. This is now clicking. I always thought about it, but I didn't say it. I think it's part of the symbolism. He looks like Elmer Fudd. He does look like Elmer Fudd. That's not even meant as an insult. I actually do think he's a symbolic Elmer Fudd. And I can see now the tie between he's such a lapdog of Donald Trump, like notoriously. I think so. Infantino, the president of FIFA, and Donald Trump, I think they're a symbolic Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck, honestly.
I mean, I'm not shocked because look at Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd equals Trump. So that's crazy, actually. 88 like Trump. Also got the 47.
Yeah, and
So
he was hunted 88 days after his birthday. Charlie.
Right, and here comes 12-7.
The Ducks fan was hunted 88 days after his birthday.
Oh yeah, you think Donald Trump also was? He's kind of hunted too. You know,
yeah,
he was shot at as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So this really, this does kind of confirm that. I always thought his name is Infantino. He's the president of. I realized no, he looks like Elmer Fudd.
What's his name again, Rambo? What?
Infantino. What's his first name? I forgot his name. Infantino. There's only one. He's like the most famous. Just put Infantino, FIFA president. Infantino. What's his first name?
Infantino.
I put FIFA, FIFA. That's all. You'll get it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the gematria you brought up, I think confirms it.
I mean, it does look like.
I don't mean to make fun of him. I mean,
oh man! Wow.
So the gematria.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny? Elmer Fudd kind of looks like an infant, doesn't he? Like a bald baby.
Yeah, it's a baby like Infantino. Also,
his name's Infant.
Infant.
Oh my God, man.
I mean, he even has the see the little wrinkles here, like kind of even has that like vibe going on.
No, I mean, I'd always notice that, but this as we're talking now, spontaneous, I realized, the Daffy Duck, the duck theme. So just look up like Infantino, add Donald Trump, just put Infantino, Donald Trump. You'll just get a general idea of how they're always like together. Like Infantino is pretty much just like a lapdog, pretty much always at his heels. He even shows up, almost 2 hours later at a general meeting, just to be around. He's always groveling at Trump's feet. So this is Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck. Is what they're. Now this World Cup, there's so much symbolism. It's like World Cup was on the cover of the Economist magazine, so this is more than just soccer.
I did not get on here tonight and expect to find the real life Elmer Fudd, but
no, but I mean, this is how I didn't. Yes, I had thought about it, but that's the thing. As you make connections, AJ, you guys just mentioned stuff. Then it's like with all of us, you make these connections on the fly. Oh, wait a minute, this explains such and such. I would have thought about now all the connections come together, and then the gematria confirms it with what is it, Elmer Fudd and Trump, 88. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh man,
and Trump was shot at. That's the thing. Trump was shot at. He was hunted, just the way Daffy Duck was shot at by Elmer Fudd. Of course, here's the opposite. I mean, Infantino would never dream of shooting at Trump. He's more like the
never say never.
Infantino. I mean, that's we're taking it to another level. I mean, if that happened, but
oh man,
again, I didn't. It's not as. I mean, they're the ones doing it. We're just the messengers here. We're not making fun of them. We're just.
This certainly was not planned. This just popped up.
And another thing I want to mention while we're on this topic of Trump getting shot and then the duck thing that happened last night. Look at the gematria, or not gematria. Look how many. Look at the date duration from Trump shooting to yesterday's game in Foxborough with the duck stuff. Look, 1618. Perfect. I was looking at this day actually because of that, because when that thing happened, right? When Trump got shot, I connected it to the golden ratio. It was clearly because the ear, if you just look up an ear, right, it has the ear golden ratio, right? Like it's an ear. So when Trump got shot, I said it was all about the golden ratio, right? Which connects to 5, of course, but this looks like an ear, right? And then if you put it over the ear, you can also it's the spiral, right? Which makes you think of the rabbit hole, right?
Well, there's theories too that the ear does kind of look like an infant in the womb.
Oh yeah, like a fetus. Yeah,
Right.
the fetal position. That's
Yeah.
it's a good connection. Yeah,
And shout out to S33 really quick. Let's not forget about Dick Cheney. He just exited the world stage. with
Right,
his
and he's
whole
famous for shooting somebody.
hunting. Yeah, his whole hunting. I mean, that's pretty much what he is known for, besides being VP.
Hey AJ, can you repeat what you just said though? Because my internet literally cut out. I did not hear you said something after I brought this up, and Rambo. All I heard was when I came back on, Rambo was saying that was a good connection. I didn't hear what you said.
It was just that the ear also represents what a baby looks like in the fetal position in the womb.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah. And so just to go back to why I'm bringing this up. So I made this connection to this on the day he got shot in the ear, because I was like, this has to do with the golden ratio. It's all mathematical, really. It's astrological. It's mathematical. Well, again, yesterday, the duck stuff, right? It was 16 months and 18 days later. So, and then that's when Drake, that's kind of why I'm thinking maybe the Patriots are going to go. I mean, Trump being like trying to present himself as a patriot. Charlie Kirk was a patriot, right? Like, I think it would make sense. I'm not saying I'm all over the Patriots yet, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But then also it was 506 days, which is the 11th square pyramidal number. So that's interesting. But yeah, and then I think there was, and don't forget my connection to this December 7th date, which just continues to look more interesting by the day. It's from Trump's shooting. Again, that has the same numerology, 6428. It's the same date numerology. It's the kill date. Charlie Kirk was also shot on the kill date. So, but now 88 days later, right, it was 88 days after Trump's birthday, he got shot. And now 88 days later, after that, is the 12/7 date. And remember, assassinate equals 12/7, 127. But from the Trump shooting to that date, it's 512 days. Well, that's another 8 connection, because 512 is 8 times 8 times 8. And another interesting part about that is that the birthday of his daughter, or not his daughter, but the birthday of his granddaughter, who she's always a lot of times with him now, Kai Trump. That's her birthday. She's born on 5/12. So I have a feeling she's going to play a role in this even more as time goes on too. Seems like she's going to be a big central figure to the Trump thing. And then of course, Barron at some point probably, but.
And shout out to YouTuber mentioning the movie Leave the World Behind, right? Wasn't Obama a producer or something of that movie?
Yeah.
Right. It released on 12/8, the day after the big date that you've been eyeing, Cody, for a while.
Yeah. I've brought that up actually, like how, that date is right before that 12/8 date, which, I'm not saying, right now the news, I feel like what this is leading to right now is something with Venezuela, because it's already the big news stories in the last few days that, in fact, they said the news story yesterday on Fox was Maduro's Judgment Day. And Trump gave him an ultimatum to either leave or they're going to attack. And so they're making it seem like that's going to be like the next stage of this. And then, like Maduro faces ultimate fight. But that makes me think of this fight that's coming up later this month. What's it? Who is that? Is it Joshua? What is that? Joshua fight 2025. What is that fight?
Oh, the UFC fight with Jake Paul.
Yeah, it's Jake Paul and the Joshua or whatever his name is. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And when is it? It's called Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, Rambo already brought this up, but Trump was sitting on the card in the judgment. So now we're here, and then again, the headline yesterday was Maduro's Judgment Day. That's what Fox News was. That's what they titled it. I saw their thing that not everyone's using that phrase, but Fox News did use that. And then it made me think, oh, well, didn't we have this fight coming up? this month on December 19th, Jake Gyllenhaal's birthday, called the Judgment Day, right? And the WWE just brought their Judgment Day group last night or the other night during the War Games thing where Cena was in San Diego. They had their War Games show, and the Judgment Day helped Dominic Mysterio beat Cena, right? And then last night, she has like the Illuminati symbol, and she's the 201 girl. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Liv Morgan, 201. And I've showed this clearly before. Like, this is her earlier in her career, but she was always, this was her attire during the match, like a 201. And then if you go to now, Dominic Mysterio, her on-screen boyfriend who beat John Cena the other day, he has the 619. Whoops. See if I can find. Here's the shirt. This is their shirt. Which, again, this does connect to me, but I won't go into all the detail. I'm trying to find a bigger image. But yeah, you can see it, right? So they're these two lovers, and again, they're on screen, but 619 and 201. And Cody equals 201 in gematria. My birthday is 619. And again, this guy's the son of Rey Mysterio, the king. Rey means king in Spanish. And now he calls himself, Dominic Mysterio calls himself the king of the luchadores. And guess what that equals? I think it equals 201 if you look at it. I don't know how to spell luchadores. King of the luchadores? Yeah. So this is literally what he's calling himself. King of the luchadores, 201. And again, John Cena's phrase, the last time is now, equals 201 in the bacon. Right? And then Dominic Mysterio's girlfriend's walking around with a 201. But anyway, going back to the Judgment Day thing, they're in the Judgment Day. These two, this Liv Morgan, the 201, and Dominic Mysterio, they're both in the group called the Judgment Day. And they just got back on top last night or the other night. And now we have this fight coming up. And on the same day is the release of the Avatar movie, Fire and Ash, which reminds me of Judgment. So this movie comes out the same day.
Well, and all the Char stuff you've been on.
Well, yeah, the fire, and we're going into the year of the fire horse. On top of that, it just makes me think, like, right now we're in the wood snake, right? But we're going into the fire horse. So wood and fire, not quite. Kind of like the absolute best scenario for a fire, right? A fire and a wood, like. And now we're transitioning from the wood to the fire, right? You have to have the wood first, then you have the fire. So it makes me think, and don't forget the Jesuit motto, or the Jesuit leader, he said, go set the world on fire. So it all kind of goes back to them in a way, because, they got the fire thing. They have the 201s all over this. When King Charles met with Leo in October, it was on Ignatius of Loyola's birthday. And that was the first time that a pope had prayed with the king for, like, I don't know how many years, like hundreds of years. But then I told you guys this December 25th, it's going to be 1225 years since Pope Leo III inaugurated Charlemagne on Christmas. So he inaugurated Charlemagne on Christmas, 1225, in the year 800. This year, on 1225, Christmas, will be the 1225th anniversary year of that. So you got 1225 to 1225 with 1225 years in between. So that's why this month of December is just huge. I mean, you got that 9/11 date. You got this movie coming out. You got the Judgment Day fight. That's on Jake Gyllenhaal's birthday. Then you got that 1225 connection I just told you. And then on that 1225 date, the show Stranger Things is releasing its. So they're doing this specifically for a reason. Like, This show is so coded, man. I was blown away by watching. They already released the first 4 episodes of the last season, but they were waiting another month to release the other episodes. They're releasing another episodes on the 25th, so on Christmas, and then they're waiting to release the last episode on the last day of the. This is so symbolic, man. They're waiting to release the last episode on the last day of the year for a specific reason. And the most people think the main character of this show is this woman 11, but in the last episode that I watched, which was the last one they released on the November 26th, the main character is turning out to be the kid, the guy, Will Byers, who was originally taken to the Upside Down in the first episode, right? But this actor is so crazily his name is Noah Schnapp, and he played in the Charlie Brown. His first role was Charlie Brown. So get that for a second. And then he played William Byers. So look at this. William Byers, that's his full name in the show. Equals 1566. And what's the number that we've been talking about? Like, we just had LeBron pass. A few days after they released these new episodes, LeBron paid his 1566 game. So the kid in the show equals 1566. Right? And William Byers, if you look into the history, well, first of all, William Shakespeare was very connected to King James, who was born in 1566, but also the name Byers is Scottish, which connects us right back to King James. And King James had a person who would dress him. I forget what they call it now. It kind of sounds a little bit gay. It's like a bed person or something, like a man named what's his name? Lindsay. William Lindsay was King James' bed person who would dress him and be his company or something like that. But he was what reason I'm bringing that up is because Lindsay was part of the Byers. He was like the Lindsay of Byer or something like that. I was learning this like right before the stream, so I'm not very. William Lindsay. Hold on. I don't remember what it is now, but that's a little bit, doesn't need to go there anyway. But the connection with the King James thing. So my point, going back to what's going on now. So this actor, right, Noah Schnapp, he's born on October 3rd, 2004. So look at his, like, this is what always blows my mind about how perfect these dates are. So I told you, so the last episode of the series is called The Right Side Up. And it's all about transitions. Like, it's all about cycles, transitions. The last episode is releasing on the last day of the year. It's called The Right Side Up. The whole series is about the upside down, but the last episode is called The Right Side Up, which is like, fixing going back, So, but look at what the right side up equals. And I'll show you why this is so important. Because Will Byers is essentially the god of the. So he gets captured by Vecna, the satanic character, and he gets taken to the upside down. Well, he comes in this last episode they just released. He realizes his own powers. He literally realizes the whole show he's like this scared kid that's always being used by the evil, but he realizes in this last episode they just released on the 26th, the very last thing that happens is all of his friends are about ready to get killed by these creatures, and he realizes that because he was connected to the upside down, he actually is the king of the upside down. He has power to control. He literally stopped all the creatures from the upside down from killing his. So we thought that this 11 character who had powers was like the most powerful one, but it ends up being this William Byers. And I got actually chills from it because it was like so like deep and symbolic. And But look, the upside or the right side up, right? So this is so deep too. Look at how the right side up equals 685, right? Well, this is the upside down of Jesus. Look. So let that sink in for a second. Jesus is the upside down of the right side up in gematria. 685 turns into 985. Just flip it upside down, the 9, the 6, that's what you get. So with that in mind, look how old William Byers, the actor, is going to be on the last episode of the series, on the last day of the year. Is that not, that's one of the most mind-blowing things I think I've ever found. Like, that is amazing. The last episode is called The Right Side Up, which equals the upside down of Jesus, which is that number. That's how old the actor, who's just revealed to be the essential savior of the upside down, that's how old the actor who plays him is going to be on that day. I hope everyone in the chat is understanding it. That's just crazy to me. Like, that is perfect. This is like so many on so many levels, especially if you just watch the last episode. They're literally making him like he gets revealed as the all powerful essentially. So, and then that's how his age is the 985th prime. And this cipher, just all you need is the Latin cipher sometimes. Like Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, 589, same numbers, but backwards, right? Well, Judas, same numbers. Like I think I could just do a whole channel based off these three numbers, 589. This is why I have my channel number as 589, because the XRP community, they pushed this number out, and I always wonder what was so special about it. But there's something about these three numbers that they love, or that this universe loves. Like, there really is something special about it. Jesus equals 985. Donald Trump equals 589. Judas equals 895. So all these rearranging of these numbers, and then obviously Stranger Things is using this because that's what's coded into it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, of all numbers. And there's something else going on here too. If you go from Donald Trump's birth to Kamala Harris's birth, there's these numbers are there too. Let's see. So if you go, this is Donald Trump's birth to Kamala Harris. If you click the days, it's the same numbers I just showed you. 865, kind of like Judas is 895. So the date span between Trump and Kamala is the upside down of Judas. So yeah. I mean, I'm just saying it's like so like mind-blowingly coded. But just go back to the point. We got all this stuff going on. John Cena's retiring, the end, right? The last time is now, Judgment, the end of the world type theme. You got the Judgment Day match. You got the Avatar movie with Fire and Ash. You got the Judgment Day and WWE just getting back together and becoming big. And then you have the last day of the year. You have this movie, this show, which everyone watches. It's their biggest show, which is so symbolic. And you have this thing happening, right? And again, this is just to bring it one last time together about how big this month is. If you go from the United States being founded to the last day of this year, which is the last episode of Stranger Things, you're going to find something very interesting again. So this is how old the United States is going to be on the last day of 2025, 9/11/25. So that also means that the transition, like what I've been talking about, is also there, because if you add the day, 9/11/26. So that all to me is just mind blowing, how all that kind of the Stranger Things thing, the Avatar, the Judgment Day fight, the United States being 9/11/01 this month and then ending the year on this. And look at this, 13, 18 weeks the United States is going to be.
Damn.
On the last day of the year. So everything points to like the ending of something. Like John Cena's thing. That's the biggest thing. John Cena, like he's like the book of John, the Revelation. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of everything I've been putting together, and how like I just started noticing these things throughout the whole year, like how first it was John Cena retiring this month, and then I found that 9/11 thing, and then I realized the Stranger Things thing was happening, and then that Judgment Day fight came out. So it's all pointing to something really big changing, I feel like, guys, like something I don't know what it is going to be exactly. I don't know. World War III? I don't know. I don't want to be a Judgment Day doomsdayer, but like either something's going to change. It could be the financial system too. It could be something with the financial stuff. Trump just came out today and said he's going to give eventually the income tax is going to be abolished because they're pulling in so much money from their tariffs. So who knows what's all going to shake down. But my main point, going back to what we started talking about, was all how it connects to like I think I started talking about the judgment stuff. So, and then how Trump was on, and Rambo mentioned how Trump was on the judgment card was that for the last FIFA?
That was on the cover of The Economist, the year preview of 2017.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They had a tarot card motif for the 2017 year preview issue. Because The Economist, every year, the beginning of a year, they have this symbol-rich cover about the year ahead.
Right.
And what they were doing was they were combining two tarot cards. It was the Judgment card, but they were using the image of the Emperor card.
Mm.
And Donald Trump is the Emperor. Specifically, he's Nero. I actually showed in my in the intro to my video that I showed in the beginning how Time magazine had Donald Trump leaning with one of his legs crossed against the Washington Monument, and what they were imitating there was the Emperor card in the French Marseille deck, where the Emperor is depicted leaning back with his leg crossed in the same manner. But the specific Emperor they're talking about in regards to Trump is Nero. Nero is the emperor under whom St. Peter is said to have been crucified upside down. That was under Nero. Mm-hmm. And I've said, and you've talked about the symbolism here. That's the hanged man, right? The upside down cross. It's St. Peter's cross. And all these things you've mentioned, Donald Trump is Batman. The bat is upside down. There's some tarot decks that use a bat for the hanged man. And that is the mutable cross of the zodiac, which is the intersection of Virgo Pisces intersected by Sagittarius Gemini. That's the mutable cross. That's what the hanged man is. And very often when you see this kind of imagery invoked, the people they're using will be from one of those four zodiac signs, either Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, or Gemini. And Donald Trump is a Gemini, and Emperor Nero was a Sagittarius who died in Gemini. And Nero is a very significant figure. There are some who believe that the Antichrist will have the spirit of Nero. And that's actually the emperor that they're referring to there. Mm-hmm. It's the Roman Emperor Nero. If you look into him, he's very interesting. He also died by suicide as well. So there's that theme as well. But that's why you're seeing a lot of this kind of symbolism upside down. It's the hand. Also, another symbol of sudden change in tarot is the Tower card. And lately you've seen, what is it like? I've never seen this before. Maybe one building go up, but with 3 buildings in Hong Kong simultaneously.
Yeah.
All in flames. And the tower represents sudden change. It could be change for the better or change for the worse, but that's what so they're invoking the tower there.
Right. That tower thing I never got a chance to really cover, but me and Sean were looking at, because Sean actually called that, guys. Sean actually, a few days before those towers went up, he had sent me a measurement about the tower and about that day. Can you believe it? Like, he literally like, we'll talk about it on one of our streams, because I'm gonna have to have Sean, after what happened with the father-son stuff and then what happened with the tower and how it was connected to Sean's personal life too. It's just mind-blowing, man. Like, that guy is just mind-blowing me every day. I can't even, not to but it's what he's doing with these connections. Like, it was like maybe like 6 days before those towers caught on fire, he sent me this. He was talking about the tower in our chat, and he even sent me that day as connecting to it. And then, yeah, we've been talking about the tower all year because of Bobby Simpson. He was talking about the tower and the number 1248, which is the gematria of the tower in the Jewish. And then, so the 1248 actually played into this tower or thing that Sean was talking about. So
it also makes me think of King Kong, right? King Kong, who climbs up the tower. King, all the King stuff we've been talking about with Charlie Kirk, etc.
Yeah, and the King stuff is always part of it too. The King James is connected to everything. Like I just showed you, he's a big part of the King James thing. Is really connected to the Will Byers thing, or the Stranger Things. And then what I was going to say too is that that Judgment Day fight that I just had up. Speaking of dawns and new like things, look at and I've decoded Jake Paul before, but his nickname is the Rooster. And when you think of and look at the nickname for the other guy, AJ.
He goes by AJ. Of course he does. Anthony Joshua. Perfect. Can't
But
get
look
away
at where
from
this
AJ
guy's
these
from.
days.
Cleveland, Ohio, King James, right? Where's this guy from? England. So clearly a King James riddle there. You got an England versus a guy from Ohio again. And the rooster, like the rooster crows at the dawn, the dawn of, we just found out about the dawn from the duck that was just at the Patriots game.
And Don King. What about Don King? There's another one.
That reminds me. Remember I shared this with you yesterday, AJ? So I realized that the Patriots are tied to Aleister Crowley and the Golden Dawn because yesterday the Patriots starred
That's right.
on Aleister Crowley's death anniversary. Well, look at what New England equals. And look at what Golden Dawn equals. It's a perfect match. And Aleister Crowley, of course, got his start in the Golden Dawn. And yesterday on his death date, the New England Patriots starred, right? They don't call him Boston, right? They call him New England. Like, this goes back to England too. That's where Aleister Crowley was from.
So there's another connection there. There's speculation that George Bush Sr., who's from New England, the family's from Massachusetts originally. There's speculation that his wife, Barbara Bush, is the daughter of Aleister Crowley. And there is some substance to that because one of Aleister Crowley's very close, you could say, proteges in his Thelemic, I guess magical order, you could call him, was a woman named Pauline Pierce. And there is, through Pauline Pierce, who did move to the United States, there's belief that Barbara Bush is, I guess, a daughter of Pauline Pierce. So some people speculate that it was that she might be the daughter of Pauline Pierce and Aleister Crowley. But they talk about the resemblance that Barbara Bush does have to Aleister Crowley. So there's another. That is an amazing super match there, Grand Slam match. That's amazing, but that also ties into the, it's this theory. It hasn't been proven that the New Englander, most famous New Englander, is George H.W. Bush was married to a, I guess, daughter maybe of Aleister Crowley.
Wow. Well, that would bring it all together. Even the theory itself makes it.
You can just look at how people talk about the resemblance. Just say Aleister Crowley, Barbara Bush. You'll see people do the comparison. I mean, that's not necessarily proof, but
I don't know. Maybe Aleister.
the connection is through Pauline Pierce, who was a member of the Thelema order.
I'll be right back, folks.
Huh. Interesting. I see it. I mean, I see the resemblance for sure.
Yeah, I mean, many people can resemble many other people, so resemblance alone. It's just it has to do with.
But sometimes I think these things come out there because they want there to be an association, not maybe because there really is one, but maybe these things get released out there for the association, and maybe that's why Golden Dawn equals New England. I didn't know that they were from New England either. I didn't know
the
that.
Bushes?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from I think Milton is the name. Yeah, Milton, Massachusetts is where he was born.
Right. Well, that connects to Cena too. That's where Cena's from. Cena's from West Newbury, Massachusetts. So that's why he's the greatest of. I mean, Boston, coming out of that area.
Yeah, so that the George Bush Jr., that accent of his is fake. It's a fake Southern accent. They're from, I mean, they went to Yale. I mean, you're from a family that originates in New England. You're educated at Yale. Where's the Southern accent coming from? Well, I'll give him credit. He actually did it well because it's real subtle. He didn't overdo it. He did well. He faked a Southern accent. He's done that really well. But it's fake. They're from New England. They're from the Northeast. Of course, if you're a Republican, Northeast is kind of Sodom and Gomorrah. You don't run, Northeast United States is just not, it doesn't help you when you're running for a statewide office with the Republican Party. But the whole Texas thing is fake. They are from the Northeast. They're from, Yale. Skull and Bones. He's from Milton, Massachusetts. That's where it is. So that's an interesting connection. It is a direct connection to Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. And it's just like I was messing around. I knew the game was going to be connected last night to Aleister Crowley, of course. And I was, looking at gematria matches, and I was like, wait, Golden Dawn just is a Grand Slam match.
And sure enough, Dawn the Duck shows up.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's perfect. I didn't even think about that until now. The Duck, Dawn, showed up. I made this connection. I sent it to AJ before the game even started.
I thought that's why you even brought up the Golden Dawn, tying it back to the Duck thing.
No, not originally. The reason I brought up the Golden Dawn at first was because the Dawn, the rooster, like Jake Paul, right? Like,
yeah.
It seems like we're always going back to farm animals. It seems like we're going back to animals a lot. We got the rooster now in here. But yeah, like, I can't believe. I just thought thank you, AJ, for always. AJ, you're just so good at pointing out like the obvious sometimes that I normally miss. So
Thank you.
like I mean, yeah, the duck guys, the duck named Dawn showed up after I made this connection between New England last night and the Golden Dawn. Like, again, I can show you the message. I sent this to AJ before the game started, right, AJ?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So I was like, now that we just found out about this duck, it's perfect. It's perfect.
It makes me think of Golden Goose, with Rambo talking about the goose and duck.
Oh yeah. Golden Goose. That comes from Jack and the Beanstalk.
And
look at this guy. He's wearing a gold hat. You see, it's like a gold color. Is that not gold to you guys?
Oh, the duck is?
No, the brim of his hat is gold.
Oh.
Right? Unless I'm just tripping, but I'm not colorblind.
When he's wearing that green, like the Oregon Ducks, It's kind of green and yellow, isn't it? There's a little hint there.
Well, that's what I mean. This is kind of a goldish color here, right? Like but this is a very dark shade of gold. You could say maybe brown, but it's definitely a dark shade of gold.
You know what those colors look like though on his jacket? It actually looks like Utah Valley's colors.
Yeah. Because they have very similar colors too to the green and gold.
Mm-hmm.
Or green and yellow.
At least kind of an off shade of it, but yeah.
But yeah, this is Dawn the Duck, and his owner's wearing a gold rimmed hat here.
There you go.
Like, and you know, normally you'd think he'd be wearing just like the red, but he's wearing all kinds of different colors actually. But let me see if there's anything.
How, I didn't know you could just walk in with animals to a professional sporting event. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the Curse of the Billy Goat with the Chicago Cubs. There's a whole story behind that, but I don't want to go down another rabbit hole, pun intended.
So what is this here? It says Dawn's Rise, okay, has caught the attention of businesses and big and small. She's sponsored by Tizzy K's Cereal Ice Cream and Sophia's Cafe. She ducks Jeep Wranglers. She has billboards in Puerto Rico. What? This duck has that? Is that what they're talking? She recently met with a Tesla, which pitched a concept of a cyber duck. Oh, great.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at this. Thames. I guess the guy's name is Thames. Like the River Thames in England, or was that in England?
Oh, they pronounce it Thames.
Thames, okay.
Spelled completely different.
Cody, go back one more sentence after that. We're talking about judgment, the one about the duck. Even celebrity judge Frank Caprio adored her. Okay.
So Dick Cheney, remember when he did that duck hunting accident?
Yeah.
The guy he shot in the face was a judge.
Oh
no,
man, dude.
Yeah, he shot a
judge.
I
covered that. Yeah. Man. This is always mind-blowing to me, man. This every time.
Dawn Ducky.
Dawn the Duck. And then now we got the Golden Dawn connection, and then Dawn the Duck. Let's just see what that equals.
114.
Oh, wow. What? This equals LeBron James, man. Look at this.
Yeah. I think this will be a good segue to do a quick just recap of the presentation I did earlier today, because it encapsulates literally everything we've been talking about. And I would love to get Rambo's take on it, because I know he's got a few nuggets up there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, LeBron James and Dawn the Duck. Oh my God.
It's like almost perfect match.
So this all ties into New England. LeBron James is managed by Fenway Sports Group. They own the Boston Red Sox, but they also manage LeBron James. So LeBron James has a direct connection to New England. Right. Remember the Boston Marathon bombing, which happened on April 15th? Like 114 was all over that one. And that was ahead of the 114th World Series, which the Red Sox would end up winning. Yeah.
And of course, Charlie Kirk, born on 10/14, a lot like 114.
Yeah, so LeBron James has that New England connection through his managers, Fenway Sports Group, the Boston Red Sox owners. Yeah. You said you were going to do a recap or something?
Yeah. So I think, Cody, if you don't mind, I'm going to take
go ahead
here. So, I did a 20-minute video earlier today. Make sure you guys go back and check it out. But I'm going to provide kind of the cliff notes, if you will. And so for those that don't know, Rambo, I don't know if you caught this. I wouldn't expect you to. Like, this was such a minuscule thing, but of course on ESPN, they're going to make it a big deal, mainly because it's LeBron James, I guess. But essentially last night, this was LeBron James's 1567th game of his career. That's important because King James became king in 1567, right? And what happened is they were playing against the Suns. So we've been talking a lot about the upside down symbolism. We've been talking a lot about the father-son connections, right? We've been talking about the Kings and judgment. So I say this because last night the headline in ESPN under the NBA section was LeBron gives Dylan Brooks a thumbs down after he can't score on Bronny. Okay. So in other words, I'll get to it. But when I first saw this thumbs down, it reminded me of the movie The Gladiator. right? And King, how do you pronounce it? King Commodus? Commodus? Commodus?
I don't know, Commodus. I don't know.
Commodus. Yeah. So for those that don't know the Gladiator, it's about a Roman general played by what's this? Russell Crowe. His name's Maximus, and he's betrayed by the emperor's jealous son. That's important. Commodus. Well, in that movie, like for some reason, I haven't seen it in so long, but when I saw the thumbs down, this is what I thought of was this movie. And sure enough, as soon as I dive in, I'm like, oh my God. Where do you think I'm going with this, Rambo? Who is this? Who's this actor?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix. So he does the thumbs down against Phoenix after Dylan Brooks essentially gets called for a travel and a missed shot against his son, against the Suns, and he does the thumbs down, right? Judgment, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you have anything else you can elaborate or share about like kind of how that whole process worked back in the day with the Roman Colosseum, but isn't it usually last man standing and then that guy's standing there with everyone else dead, and then like the emperor gives a thumbs up or a thumbs down whether or not to kill him, I guess?
Yeah. Once you've in a position whether you've pretty much won the fight, and I guess you look to the emperor, and the emperor will tell you whether or not to spare. You can win the fight and spare the opponent, or to kill the opponent. So thumbs down means kill the opponent, and thumbs up means spare his life, but you win the fight. So the person who loses is at the mercy pretty much of the emperor at that point.
Gotcha. So it's not about killing the last man standing. It's about like the other guy who's about to be killed.
Yeah, he's lost the fight at that point and can't defend himself. He's at the mercy because he's lost the fight at this point. He's at the mercy of not just his opponent who defeated him, but the one who won the fight is looking to the emperor for a decision on what to do next. Do I kill him? If it's thumbs down, it means you kill him. Thumbs up means you spare him.
Right. So once again, we're talking about LeBron James doing the thumbs down against Phoenix in a play with Dylan Brooks, who plays for Phoenix, who didn't score on his son. Right.
So I think that's about a sunset. It's like a sundown. So you have the suns and the thumbs down. Usually, and I guess it has to do with the time of year where the sun, it's all about the sun cycle. The sun is entering the underworld now. It's about to enter the winter solstice. That's what the sun symbol and the thumbs down, that's the sun entering the underworld of the winter solstice. This is a sun. Yeah.
That's 100% it's a sun ritual. And I'll touch on that in a second. Shout out to True Baller. Didn't Bronny go to USC where the football team plays in the Coliseum, right? So there's that whole Roman connection right there, just with where Bronny went to school.
Yeah, there's also connection with Minnesota because the Lakers originate from Minnesota, and they used to be the Minneapolis Lakers. That's why you had the George Floyd narrative. That was a sunset ritual. Initially, they said it took 8 minutes and 46 seconds for George Floyd to die, even though clearly, if you look at the entire video, that's not even close. But they made 8:46 the official time because on May 25th, 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You can go to timeanddate.com to confirm it. The sun set on Minneapolis, Minnesota at 8:46. It was a sunset ritual. It's also another basis for that George Floyd event was the ancient Egyptian allegory or mythology of the death of Osiris at the spring equinox, because Osiris was a vegetation god. And George Floyd was Osiris, he's a vegetation god. And a fertility god as well. That's actually why this may seem kind of crude on the surface, but there's a deeper reason. It came out that George Floyd had acted in a porn. He actually did a porn scene.
Yeah,
that's part of the Osiris ritual. Osiris is a fertility, so that's all about his fertility. He was Osiris. So that's all about the sunset, and that was in Minneapolis. The 93 in Minneapolis on the 93rd meridian. 93, the sun is 93 million miles away. So the Lakers are very much tied into this because they were from Minneapolis.
And I touched on that. That's why Bronny wears 9, and this play happened against Brooks number 3. This is the exact screenshot right before. So it's funny. So Brooks in the first half, I don't even need to go that way, but the first half, he's an antagonist. He's just a bully, and he likes to get a rise out of especially a home crowd or an away crowd. And after all of that, this is, I don't know, 5 to 8 minutes left in the game. He's still playing against Bronny. He misses a shot, gets called for a travel, and immediately the cameras go right to LeBron James. And then that's when he does the upside, the downwards thumb. So, like you just touched on, Rambo, you beat me to it. Godson 93, Jewish mysticism. Gematria stems from Jewish mysticism. The sun being 93 million miles away, right? There was another quick little tidbit I had in here about the man in the arena. I'm sure you've heard of that. Yeah. And so I was doing a little research. For me, it went as far back as Theodore Roosevelt, who originally wrote this. It was a speech apparently he gave in Paris back in 1910. I just thought it was interesting that Theodore Roosevelt and Joaquin Phoenix, their birthdays are only one day apart from each other. But also LeBron has also written "Man in the Arena" many, many times on his shoes throughout his career. I think this stems back to when he really got the heat, when he went to the Heat and all the hate back in the day there. But here was the other thing, Rambo, I wanted to pick your brain on was from a biblical perspective, right? We were talking about Judgment Day. Shout out Cody. I was researching further and I found that there is a Bible verse, Judges 1:7. Interesting, 1:7. We were talking about 17 last week a lot. And LeBron James, right, coming from the 17th state, Ohio, on the date written 1/7, going to the Lakers, winning the 17th championship, etc. But this particular verse, it records the words of, is it Adoni, right?
Adonai, you could be.
Adonai Bezek. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. I'm really not, but it goes as far as this. He was a captured king who acknowledges that the punishment he received, having his thumbs and his big toes cut off. So this goes back to what you were talking about, Rambo, with the 3 toes, like the three toes on a drake, on a duck, right? So it's a repayment for his own cruelty to 70 other kings, right? So apparently Adoni Bezek, when he would capture other kings, that would be what he does, because he had previously maimed these kings to make them unable to fight or run, forcing them to live in humiliation, begging for scraps under the table, right? So I thought that was a big connection. The 70 stood out to me just because Dylan Brooks equals 70, right? And he's the one that's kind of revolving around this ritual with LeBron and his son. But not sure if you have anything to add on that particular biblical connection. Like I said, I don't know much about Adoni Bezek, but I thought this was really interesting.
No, but I mean, if you cut the thumbs, he'll have 4. He'll still have 4 fingers, not 3. It's actually...
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, but like you were talking about the toes and the web toes and all that kind of stuff. So you got the thumbs and the toes connection.
The person who ties into that is Deion Sanders, who's had 2 toes amputated. Deion Sanders has 3, so he's part of the whole 3-toed ritual, which again, it's either part of the duck family, duck, goose, swan, or reptilian, draconian, which have 3 toes.
Okay.
I don't have the graphics up here, but there are multiple figures throughout history depicted doing the 3-fingered sign, where the 2 middle fingers are put together, so it looks like Adolf Hitler. Official portrait is portrayed that way. Christopher Columbus's that I can think of. Those are the 2 that stand out. There have been other people in the news who've done it, but yeah, Deion Sanders is the one who fits that. He has 3 toes on one of his feet. Yeah.
Okay.
But
you know what? Oh my God, this just hit my brain. Where did Dylan Brooks go to school? Where did he play basketball? I'll give you one guess.
Colorado?
The Oregon Ducks.
Oh, Oregon. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well,
wow.
And The CM Punk thing that we just brought up before the stream, his last name is Brooks.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So that makes me think of Brooks Line, which is where JFK was born, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But also somebody in the chat mentioned to switch the letters around on Adonai or a dawn of an AI.
Adani. Yeah.
But think about that. Dawn AI, like a dawn of an AI.
Hmm.
Because that's like it's like literally the anagram of that name that you just had up there. But yeah, just somebody pointed that in the chat. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. The last thing, I'll skip over really the rest. I mean, Dylan Brooks says LeBron James likes people that bow down to him, right? But I don't bow down. So that was in the post game. But I just thought, what are the odds? LeBron and Dylan have a Grand Slam match across all 4 base ciphers and then just rolling it right back up to the top. Gladiator, the Emperor played by Joaquin Phoenix. And this whole, ritual, so to speak, takes place against Phoenix, revolving around his son.
Don't forget Charles equals LeBron too.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about, right, Cody?
Right.
Yeah. Because we were talking about the dog deaths just last week, and then right before tonight's show, I'm like, oh my god, here's another one.
Yeah, this came out just like today or yesterday, and it's been a big thing. Like with CM Punk, who just became champion, right? Again, after so long. He's from Chicago, so I mean, it ties to Charlie Kirk. He's from Chicago. He's a big Cubs fan, right? Now his dog is dead, so and his wife's name is AJ.
Yeah, there you go.
AJ Lee. Well, that's not a real name. That's her stage name, AJ Lee. But and then the AJ was when the Charlie Holt Kirk thing happened. She returned, right, and she was wearing that spider web on her shirt, which
that
I connected
back to the Charlotte's
farm.
Web with all the farm animals. Yeah,
right. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's also Charlotte's Web. All the animals. Like, how many different animals have we brought up in this decode so far? We got the duck. We got the rooster. The duck, the rooster, the dog, the rabbit. We haven't talked about a pig, but I'm sure we could.
Well, speaking of which, my dog Cooper is calling, so I got to go grab him now because his ears were ringing. His ears were ringing.
He must have heard me.
Yeah, exactly.
He must have heard me talking about it. Dogs.
Well, his brother's name is Cody. So yeah, I'll be right back, you guys. Cody, you have the floor.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I just I'm still can't get over this duck thing here. And in Providence, this duck is supposedly from Providence. Like that's like about being able to see the future or something. Is that what Providence means? Or having like a
destiny type thing.
Oh yeah, like something like that. And like WWE has done a lot in Providence. Like they're always doing Providence stuff, I noticed. So that's interesting. And yeah, I keep thinking of this duck commercial where they have this little duck and he's getting washed by the Dawn dish soap. I just noticed that because I always see these commercials where the duck they're washing the ducks with the Dawn dish soap.
Yeah, so I guess they found that when they have these, these major oil spills that they have and how the oil affects the animals, they always use Dawn. And the reason they use Dawn, they say, because Dawn effectively cuts grease, but it's also very safe for the animals. They always use Dawn. If you look, you can kind of just look that up, like Dawn and oil spill, and then Dawn. And they're pictures of they're cleaning the wildlife with Dawn. They specifically use Dawn whenever they do these cleanups from oil spills.
Yeah. Well, I always thought, like, come on, Dawn is, first of all, it's not safe. I mean, I try not to use these dish soaps as much as possible. It's got chemicals in it, which, yeah, I mean, obviously you'd probably rather get the oil off of you, but I mean, still, like, it's like super. I can't remember how many times I've thought about this commercial, like how I kind of feel bad that they're using a chemical to clean off a chemical, but like, and now it comes up now it makes perfect sense why it's the dawn and the duck. I just never the dawn and the duck right there.
Well, they say because they don't use any other. Maybe they do, but they don't want to talk about it. I don't know. But typically, when they have these oil spills, dawn is the go-to for cleaning the wildlife. I mean, you can you look up pictures on that, but it's the
Yeah,
go-to
like
for cleaning the
well,
wildlife.
let's see, hold on.
It's
Yeah,
also when the big oil spill was the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and that also brings in. So the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, think of BP's logo, British Petroleum. It's green and yellow. So that's where you had, so you had the green and yellow of British Petroleum, that oil spill in the Gulf, and then they're cleaning up the wildlife, which included ducks, with Dawn detergent. So even in that incident, that all comes together, that BP oil spill. Green and yellow.
Wow. AJ, did you catch this?
No, I didn't. I was just going to say, don't forget, Cooper only eats duck hearts. I'm not joking.
Oh my gosh. Man.
I'm not kidding. Crazy, that's all he eats.
So crazy, man. This Matrix. Because I was on here. I mean, you left, and then I was like, I opened up this page, and I realized this commercial I've watched 100 times, more, maybe more, of this. They use, and as Rambo was explaining, they use Dawn dish soap to clean off the ducks on oil spills. And I've always watched these commercials with the ducks being cleaned with the Dawn dish soap. And I've always wondered, like these poor ducks, man.
Is that a penguin right next to the one with the hand, or is that the duck?
That's duck. These are ducks in oil right here.
Yeah, they wash all wildlife. In fact, once they started doing that, started washing wildlife with Dawn, that's when Dawn decided to use that in their advertising campaign. And saying, look, they use our product. This is not us saying it, the type thing. That's what they say. Ours is the go-to product.
Well, I will say we just cracked the 2-hour mark, and I did see a handful of folks asking if we're taking calls tonight. If you guys are okay with it, I can open up the phone line, maybe take a call or two, see if anybody wanted to add anything else to tonight's show, if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, can I say something real quick that
of course.
You missed while you were gone?
Yeah, please.
So a major oil spill, where again they used Dawn specifically to clean the wildlife, was the BP Gulf oil spill. One of the biggest oil spills. It was like 2008 or so, and they used Dawn there. But think about BP; their logo is green and yellow, British Petroleum. Yeah, and the oil spill, and they used the Dawn duck in the. To clean.
This is so crazy, Rambo. This is absolutely insane how this all started from a Subway sandwich being thrown on, and it was a green and yellow connection that you made, and now everything seems to connect with this duck. All this stuff connects with this green and yellow ducks, and now it's blowing my mind. It's really blowing my mind from a Subway sandwich.
Watch Subway come out with a duck sandwich.
Also, if you look at that one, right. Look at the other graphic there. It's BP next to Shell, and Shell is actually a dawn. It's a sunrise. The sun rises at dawn. The Shell logo is actually literally a dawn. It depicts a sunrise. Yeah, so that actually ties into the dawn.
The BP logo is like a flower of life, like type of design. You know, like it reminds me.
They changed their logo after the oil spill because it looks more. You know, if you didn't know that was a British Petroleum logo, you'd think that's the type of logo like an environmentalist organization would use. It's very positive. Very
green.
Yeah, but they actually type. They actually hire. There's actually a not a law firm, but it's a firm it's a marketing firm that actually they come in and do damage control for corporations that have a really bad reputation. It's called Burson Marsteller. Burson Marsteller is who you call when you have a bad reputation, like an awful and they'll teach you how to revitalize your reputation. They're the ones who told BP to change their logo, so now it looks like life and and nature, and fertility, and that's not what they're about at all.
Well, Rambo, really quick, Cody, if you wouldn't mind going back just to the image of the BP logo. You know what it looks like? The heart chakra.
Yeah, but they know that. They do that deliberately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not about that. They're about the opposite. Yeah. This is. So just put like oil spill, and let's put Dawn, and you'll see how they use Dawn for different cleanups in general. To dawn, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, this is just ridiculous. This kind of stuff is like makes me angry. Like this makes
Yeah.
me angry.
But that's exactly why BP went to the logo that they did. So you see that like any humane entity will just feel horrified by this. The company that did this doesn't care. Most big corporations are by nature they're psychopaths. They're like AI. They don't have humanity. Their bottom line is just money, I guess, and profit. That's it. They're not human. They do not have. So what they do is they give you that, and you can see what I mean. AJ said it's like the heart chakra. They did that so you as humans will think that way when you see that logo. But this is their true nature. That's still how
tug at your heartstrings.
Yeah, and you're seeing their true nature here, but that logo is the opposite, completely opposite of their true nature.
Oil is also an anagram of Leo or lion, right? Just missing the N. Going back to the big N with Cody stuff on the Northern Stars.
Yeah.
Just a thought. But yeah, but like, look, even the dawn logo in the back, it looks like a dawn, like Rambo was talking about, like
sunrise,
a new dawn,
like the shell.
Yeah. Yep.
Man, remember when that lady died, or that girl, Michelle Trachtenberg died this year? Was that this year still? I think it was this year. She played Dawn in the what was the name of the show? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think she played the character named Dawn, and she was like the key or something. I remember that. I don't remember all specifically, but that's one thing I can remember this year, which was connected. Like, I don't know how that's connects to. I'm sure it connects to this. I'm sure, but I just brought that up because I remember that. And Dawn actually has that 66 too. Like you had Charles up there earlier, or you had LeBron up there. But like, I know specifically why they chose to call him LeBron, like because it equals Charles. Like it's like, so the gematria is coded that way. If you type, Charles.
Oh, Cody, Rambo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Okay, good. At least
Cody's still in here. Lost his screen though. That's okay. We'll give him a second, but I think now would be a good time to open up the phone line. I know a couple people were asking to call in, so let me open it up. So the line is open, folks. Don't be shy. We're nice guys. And won't be open for long, so make sure you guys take advantage. Yeah, but yeah, Rambo, I just thought that whole... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that whole upside down thing with LeBron James. Like, I really thought... I was like, why are they making a huge deal out of this? And sure enough, very quickly, I was like, I immediately thought Gladiator, even though I hadn't seen it in 15 plus years, that scene. And then as soon as I pulled it up, I was like, oh my God, it's Joaquin Phoenix. This is perfect. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So
they've done typically they'll do at the winter solstice, which will be the time of Capricorn, and at the time of Libra, there'll be a lot of rituals, like sundown related rituals. And now that we're still in Sagittarius, but this is the time of year you'll see a lot of sundown rituals, and they like to use the Phoenix Sun. So another time they did that, the Phoenix Suns had an owner, their previous owner, who I guess was proven, they had on record as engaging in saying racist things, maybe sexist as well, but mostly racist. And he was forced to sell the team, and that all came to pass during the time of Libra. I think it was in October. It was around October, but they chose that specific time to do. The Phoenix Suns owner has to sell the team. It's like it is a sundown ritual. Typically, you'll see it around the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. So whenever I see suns and the thumbs down, I mean, you made all the other connections, the Phoenix and the other stuff. in general, this is you can look for these kinds of rituals at this time of year.
Yeah, definitely. The sun down like that. Yeah, for me, I was thinking about the upside down stuff that you've been on all year as well. But yeah, no, it's right in your front of your face. It's involving his son. It's against the suns. And he's putting his thumb down. I mean, it can't get much more blatant than that, you know. We do have our first caller from New York. Let me get him on here. Hello, New York. You out there?
Yes.
How we doing?
How's it going, AJ? Rambo? Cody, when he comes back, this is Mr. S, actually.
Mr. S, good to hear from you, my friend. Thank you for calling in. What's going on?
I kind of wanted to expand on the last week's events and how it all connects, because I had made a community post about the Hong Kong tower, and I also made a connection to the actual Genesis mission that was announced by Trump.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it. I'm not familiar.
No, so, and it's actually, and you know what is so crazy? It's actually going to also tie in to John Cena and the subway incident that happened. In D.C., there was 2 guys who were shot. And this all happened on the same day. I believe it was on the 24th last week. So there we go with the subway sync again. 2 guys were shot, but they were shot by, I believe it was Fairfax subway station, but it was on 17th Street.
Okay, there's your 17s again.
So we can move that to the side. Hong Kong itself gained independence on July 1st.
Oh man, that's the same date that it was announced that LeBron was going from Cleveland, the 17th state, to LA to then go win his 17th championship for the Lakers. Oh my goodness.
So now let's go back to what Rambo said earlier about the 2017 cover. When we check out the tarot card of the Judgment tarot card is 20.
Mm-hmm.
When we check out that cover, you have the Trump card, and it's also right next to the Burning Towers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah. You're talking about the one from Rambo's video where it showed Trump as the Judgment card, or?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
right. This card has been talked about for years, but you know, Trump has always connected to the towers. But check this out. Isn't it weird that around the same time you get this news that Rush Hour 4 has been announced because Trump wants to see it?
I do recall that. Yeah.
AJ, where does Rush Hour 4 take place in one of the movies?
It's in Hong Kong, isn't it? In the third one?
In the second one, I'm not sure about the third one, but there you have it.
Man.
You got that going on.
Oh, and then isn't the end of one of those movies where a guy falls from a tower, like from a really tall building?
I believe so. It's been a long time, AJ. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
I really like Paul. I just remember Rush Hour 2. I think Rush Hour 3 is very underrated too, but
Yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of the Rush Hour movies. I don't know about you, Rambo, but I mean, to think how long's it been since the third one? 20 years? I mean, it's just funny to think about, you know? But no, that's crazy because 2017, like you pointed out, 17 again, you know?
Now let's check out the tarot card. On the tarot card, you see the Archangel Gabriel blowing on trumpets. They're blowing on the trumpet. When you check the card out, when the trumpet is being blown, the dead is waking up. So what does this mean? We're watching a show where the upside down world is coming up to the surface. The dead is waking up. Which means the upside down world, everything is flipping polarities. We was just talking about the pole shifts and this, that, and the third, but whatever is dead is coming up to the surface. and to me, I find this very important because look at all the dogs who've died from the celebrities.
Yeah, seriously, it's been all over the place
Now-
for a while.
Now, what does a dog do when it comes to the underworld? They're actually your guide.
Kind of like how
They're your
Sirius
guide.
the dog star is a guide, right? In the sky.
Anubis.
I think what's being shown in the ether is there's no more need for guides because the underworld is coming up to the surface. There's no need for you to be guided to the underworld because now the underworld is on the surface. Everything is being called up. This is literally Judgment Day.
Rambo, did you want to add anything to that, to Mr. S's comments?
No, yeah, when you have these esoteric symbols, yeah, there's so many ways you can interpret them, but clearly, yeah, that's the only correction I'd say. The archangel on the judgment card is Michael, because Michael corresponds to fire, and he has flames on the top of his head, like his head is on fire, like Michael Jackson's hair caught fire. So that's the archangel Michael. That's
Excuse me, Rambo. I'm talking about the actual judgment card. That's letter 20. I think Michael's on the other ones, but I Googled it. That's Gabriel, and we should all know that Gabriel connects to what happened in the shooting in Minnesota, the Annunciation school shooting. But I'm gonna kind of finish it off right here. So now let's get to the Genesis mission. That was announced the same day as all those events, right, AJ? So, boom. They announced that 17 new data centers. When you go to the website, when you go to the White House website, 17 new data centers would be built. And even in that announcement, they kept referencing the Manhattan Project. And why is that important? Because we already spoke about the garden. We already spoke about John Cena, this, that, and the third. 17 new data centers. That's kind of wild. And now when we get to Genesis reminds me of Terminator Genesis.
Oh, the Terminator movies.
AJ, it came out, what you could literally say, it came out on the dawn of summer.
The dog days of summer?
The dawn of summer. The summer solstice. June 21st, because Rambo spoke about this, but I'll just kind of elaborate it again. We quote unquote enter the cave in Cancer, and we leave the cave. We leave the underworld in Capricorn, December 21st, which is not far away from December 19th.
The date of the fight, Judgment Day.
Exactly, which is also when they're going to premiere Stranger Things Part 2 in Christmas. So this is all a symbolism. When we talk about the Genesis mission, I believe this is all symbolism, obviously, to just genes, AI, transhumanism. But everything was laid out on that 2017 cover. And then this is why there's going to be, I don't believe there's going to be any more generations. This is why everything is going to be almost like the living and the dead on one surface. Symbolically, especially. Because, you don't ever want these things to really creep into our heads and we start to really think all of this is real.
Yeah. Rambo, did you want to add anything to that?
No, it's a great decode and an interesting interpretation. When you have all this symbolism, there's so many ways they could be. So no, it's a valid theory. You can't say for sure what they mean by this, but yeah, this is a good theory.
Yeah, I mean, well, turning point. Things are changing, right? Like we're in for a change of pace, so to speak.
The turning point refers to Saturn, because Saturn was at the turning point. If according to ancient history, I mean that's why she said North Star. That's where, and Saturn ruled a golden age. Well, if there's a sudden change, it could be for the worse or it could be for the better, and it could change it could be for different people. Some people could experience worse, some people could experience better. People talk about a shift if people are inclined towards that. But the thing about Saturn, it ruled when Saturn was the sun, it was a golden age, but it was low tech. So there was harmony, there was no ownership, there was no money. That's the key. There was no money. Money really is the key to the enslavement. But that's the golden age under Saturn. But the flip, but it was harmonious. And the flip side of that is also low tech. So there wasn't much advancement and in that respect. But that's what the golden age is. So
and that's why Saturn was probably on the cover of the Economist cover this year. It was front and center.
Yeah, for 2025, yeah, is at the top, yeah.
And that's another thing. I don't want to take too long, AJ, but that is another thing I think we need to kind of mention is the 3-eye atlas. The final destination of that comet is going to be Jupiter, and it's going to be on Jupiter and 3-eye atlas is going to meet on March 20th. That is the Thelema New Year and Barron Trump's birthday, who is the son of Apollo, Trump. So I type in the chat all the time. This is really, to me, about Jupiter and Saturn, the father and the son. They both represent kings, but one rules differently than the other.
I will say this, when you brought up the Manhattan Project, talk about play on words. I love that word play. It reminds me of Rambo's work on Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter kind of sound like there's kind of an overlap there with Manhattan. You got the Hatton right there. Manhattan, Mad Hatter, right? And then everything with what all of Rambo's work. Shout out to you, Rambo. The rabbit going down the rabbit hole, going underground, right? And
I can add to what you just mentioned about Mad Hatter, since you mentioned it. I don't know if you remember. I put so much.
Sorry, Mr. S. Hold on, really quick. Go ahead, Rambo, please.
I put a lot of dense information in my video. There's a lot of stuff, but if you saw it, did you see that I talked about Ricky Hatton, the boxer?
Yeah.
Ricky
oh
Hatton.
My God, I didn't even. Yeah. No, I remember that exactly. I didn't make the hat connection though.
Yeah. So Mad Hatter, Ricky Hatton. Remember what number the Mad Hatter has on his hat in Alice in Wonderland?
106.
106, and Mad Hatter Day is 106. It's October 6th. Can you guess wildly? Just one guess. What is Ricky Hatton's birthday?
October 6th.
October 6th is Mad Hatter Day.
That just so happens to be Bronny James's birthday too. So now we're tying right back to the
106 NFL season. So so that ties in. So what I talked about in my video, Ricky Hatton, that boxer at the bottom, it's real small at the bottom of the Economist page. Ricky Hatton's trademark was sky blue. He wore those colors because he's a fan of Manchester City football team. Manchester is 106 in Gematria. So he's boxing. That is Ricky Hatton because he has that trademark sky blue, and he's on the Economist cover. So it is pointing to the significance of boxing. But yeah, so we mentioned Mad Hatter and Manhattan and Hatton. Ricky Hatton was born on Mad Hatter Day. And the NFL did do a Mad Hatter Day tribute on Mad Hatter Day. It was a Thursday where the quarterback was born on Mad Hatter Day, which was Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He played and won and beat the Chiefs on Mad Hatter Day as a Mad Hatter tribute. It scored halftime with 14-7. That's the gematria of Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland. But just since you mentioned the Mad Hatter thing, that's how it ties into the video I just did about Ricky Hatton. He's a big part of it. Those who don't know, he passed away, they say, by hanging. Again, we talk about the hangman stuff. They say it was suicide by hanging, supposedly. That Ricky Hatton died on September 14th. Hatter, Ricky Hatton was the boxer on the cover of The Economist. It's Ricky Hatton in the sky blue. So yeah, just tie those things in.
Love that. No, seriously. Mr. S, was there anything else you wanted to share, my friend? Obviously, great observations. This is a good one.
Yes, I want to thank the chat. I want to thank you once again. I kind of want to tie a bow into this because we're talking about Genesis. We're talking about Alice in Wonderland. We're talking about rabbits, right? So, I did the infamous 666 date duration, 666 days after Terminator Genesis came out. We landed on April 17th, 2017.
Okay.
But check this out. That was the day that the White House had its first Easter egg hunt.
Oh, nice, Mr. S. Wow.
So there's no doubt that when we talk about what even Ozzy Osbourne, back to the beginning, the last time is now. Now it's all tying together.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. The destiny of, I believe, us as humans to something much more special. But there's also another side that kind of wants to divert us from that. But 666 days after that, the first White House Easter egg on 1717, April 17th.
My God, man! Wow.
That was all in the community post I had posted, but and I could probably keep going about like how this even ties into Christian Bale. Christian Bale played Frankenstein, who was also Dick Cheney.
Oh, that's right. He played. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, he did play Dick Cheney.
They have the same birthday, January 30th, which is the gematria of upside down.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh man. Well, hey, we had another caller or two try to get in. Go ahead, Rambo. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to encourage him to continue, but since you said other people want to get in, then.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mr. S, please call in again. Anytime. You can either message this or at least just hit me up. I can get your number. We'll be in touch. In closing, if you wouldn't mind just plugging yourself. I mean, where can people find you?
Oh no, you could just find me in the chats. I'm not a decoder. I mean, at least I'm not I don't put content out, but I just want to thank you guys. I wish Cody was. I don't know if Cody's still there, but
he's back.
But I want to thank the chat as well. I'm just gonna jump back in the chat. I don't want to take up too much time.
No, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you very much. Hopefully, whoever just called, shout out to you guys. Please call in because we're gonna close this one out. But thank you very, very much, Mr. S. That was a brilliant decode. Amazing observations. This is like the chat and things like this is probably one of my favorite parts of this, whatever this is that we're doing. It's a lot of fun and mind blowing. So thank you very much, Mr. S.
All right. Thank you. God bless
Great call.
Bye, brother. Take care. Bye.
It's also optimistic. It's a great call, but it's optimistic. Very often it's decoding community. We're talking about gloom and doom.
Yeah, exactly.
The end of the world. But his he actually had a positive. I appreciate that. Great decode and a positive message too.
Yeah. No, I exactly. I appreciate him emphasizing, like you do, Rambo, that everything does have a positive and a negative energy. We do have another caller right now. Hello, caller.
Hello, this is True Baller from the chat.
True Baller, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
No problem, man. I don't have something as deep as Mr. S, but I love the football breakdowns you guys do. And I think it was last stream, you guys were like touching on like the 2-8s, and you were talking about the football players, Jonathan Taylor and stuff like that. I was thinking about like the MVP race, and he seems to be the only running back that's like in the running amongst like all quarterbacks. And the last running back to win MVP, he was a co-MVP with Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts. And it was Adrian Peterson, who also wore number 28. So it's kind of a light thing that I was thinking about, but I just want to know what you and Rambo's thoughts are on that.
Well,
as far as like
yeah, to me, it's very interesting that you're calling in talking about the number 28. I was going to try to pull up a visual for the viewers, but I shared this with Cody and Rambo. I didn't send this over to you, but I don't know if you heard about the Black Friday shooting that took place in Santa Clara. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, you called me when we talked. You talked about it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was half asleep when I called you, Rambo. I threw so much away.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So check this out. So Black Friday was what? It was on the 28th, right?
Yeah.
2/8. The Super Bowl's on 2/8, right? Well, if you look up where that shooting was, I believe it was at Westlake Valley Fair Mall or something like that. But look it up and just look up the location or the address of that mall, and you'll see it is right up the road from Levi Stadium. I mean, it is right next door, essentially. And they say it's an isolated incident. It was not a mass shooting. There were no deaths. But what really stood out to me was that shooting took place exactly 201 days after the Indianapolis Colts' birthday, or the head coach. So you got that 201, Indianapolis equals 201, right? And then I took it a step further. I was looking at, don't forget about the death of Jim Irsay, right? The owner of the Colts back in May. Mm-hmm. His oldest daughter, Carly, believe it or not, I know Cody knows about this, but Carly, kind of like Charlie.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the oldest daughter of Jim Irsay, who just died. And I measured from her birthday to the date of the shooting, 60 days. Kind of like how we're entering Super Bowl 60 on 2/8 next year.
Wow.
So I found that super interesting, but it kind of just clicked with me when you brought up the 28. So that's all I have to share about that.
Oh wow, I don't know if I caught that stream when you broke all that down, but
oh no, I didn't talk about this on a stream. This was something I found over the weekend, and just shared it with Cody and Rambo on the back end.
Okay, those are some good connections. And I just had a quick question for you guys, and in particular Rambo. What do you think about these magazine publications? And like, that's not really a thing anymore. Like, when you go in the stores, it's not like, you know, in the past it was a thing. People bought magazines and stuff like that. How do you feel that affects your ability to find these clues? Because is everything like all online you guys search for now? Because it's almost like it's a way of like making it harder for you guys to, or the people that are in the know that are doing these type of things, to find out like these patterns and these connections.
In some ways, it actually might be easier if it's online, because before, if it was magazines, you'd have to actually go to you have to actually see the physical magazine. If you're not out and about or near a store that sells magazines, you probably wouldn't see it. So I think now it's actually easier to see it. Now you can sit at home and then pop up an image. You know what I mean? Like the Back to the Future. I talk a lot about the Back to the Future that the New York Post had Donald Trump, and then this huge headline, Back to the Future. I actually found that the old-fashioned way. I just happen to live in the New York City area. It's only because of that I saw that. I was just walking out of a supermarket and I see a New York Post, and there's on the cover. It looked like the type of thing I would put in my Decodes. I couldn't believe it. A picture of Donald Trump and a huge headline, Back to the Future. Well, I saw that the old-fashioned way, actually. So that's kind of like but that's only because it was a New York publication. Had it been from some other side of the country, I'd never have seen it unless, I don't know, maybe I might have stumbled on it. But I'd say in general, online, I think, makes it easier to find than actually having to physically see it.
Right. You can kind of browse through the internet pretty quickly. Yeah. So, yeah, I understand. Thanks for taking my call, guys, man. I love the show. I tune in every Tuesday night, so hit the like, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate. Hey, the last thing I'll share with you about the 28s, don't forget about everything that Rambo, Cody, and I have been talking about Donnie Darko and Back to the Future, right? And the 28s, you know, in Donnie Darko, there's 28 days left, right? Circling right back to the 28s, all of Rambo's stuff about, you know, Back to the Future, time 20 and 25. And what was it again, Rambo? The actress named Clara played a character that's taking a one-way ticket to San Francisco.
Right. And the actress's birthday is February 8th. That'll be her 73rd birthday. Yeah.
Yep.
She played Clara, right?
Yep. So, and once again, Bad Bunny, right? Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl on 2/8, tying us back to Donnie Darko and Frank the Bunny Rabbit. Francisco, essentially. Right?
Yeah,
So
you guys definitely got me watching a lot of movies that I never would even have thought of watching. So that's pretty cool.
Well,
man.
shout out Rambo.
Yeah.
Him and I were talking offline at one point, and he was bringing up Donnie Darko over and over again, and I had to just admit to him that I never saw it, and he was like mad at me. He was like, "You gotta watch it. Like, you gotta watch it." And then as soon as I watched it, I came back to him and I was like, "I'm so sorry, man. That's like one of the craziest movies ever. It was so good."
Yeah,
So
that was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I just watched Weapons last night. I thought Weapons was pretty good. And Rambo, have you seen the Houdini video by Eminem, the music video?
Is it a recent one, or from back in the day?
No, it came out last year when Eminem released his one of his latest albums. It's called Houdini. But the music video, there's a ton of symbolism in that video. With the White Rabbit, the Batman and Robin themes, he's stepping through the portal and everything. You should check it out. It's a pretty interesting music video.
All right, thanks for the tip. I'll check it out.
All right.
I'll definitely check it out. Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. Hey, thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Love always. Peace.
Yeah, thanks for the call.
Peace.
I do have another indirect Adrian Peterson connection. I've talked about Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland ties into the NFL because this is the 106th NFL season, and 106, that's literally the only number that's stamped on Alice in Wonderland, on the Mad Hatter's hat, like that 106. This kind of goes along the lines of what Mr. S said. He's talking about a major change, mostly positive, I guess, for some people. And so what Alice in Wonderland is about. So Alice in Wonderland, in the movie The Matrix, they make a lot of allusions to Alice in Wonderland. Talk about the, follow the white rabbit.
Right.
And and Morpheus, even when it gives Neo the option of the red pill or the blue pill, he says, take the blue pill and stay in Wonderland. Oh, no. He says, take the red pill, stay in Wonderland, and you'll find out just how far the rabbit hole goes. But there's several Alice in Wonderland references there. So Alice in Wonderland, that story is really about the quote unquote matrix world we live in. When she goes into the rabbit hole, that's actually this world we live in, this existence, and she has to see through it. She sees through it at the end. Alice in Wonderland, she sees through the matrix and realizes it's just a matrix. There's a key phrase she uses to indicate that she finally sees through the matrix, and she collapses the matrix. Donnie Darko was about collapsing reality. The phrase that Alice used when she sees through the matrix at the end, because all these cards and there's the queen, who's everybody's afraid of, the Queen of Hearts. She's the authority there, and she actually sees through it. She says, "You're nothing but a pack of cards." That's the key phrase when Alice realizes the matrix. Pretty much, it's like, you are nothing but a pack of cards, and with that, the matrix collapses, which is Wonderland. Wonderland collapses when she uses that phrase. So that's a very key phrase. And then she wakes up. So real, I added up the gematria of "you're nothing but a pack of cards." It's 286. This ties into Adrian Peterson. He has the single game rushing record in the NFL. It's 286 yards. So that's kind of how indirectly I came back to Adrian Peterson. He is retired because of his yardage and the gematria of "you're nothing but a pack of cards," which collapses the matrix. That's what I think of when I hear Adrian Peterson.
And shout out Mr. S. Long time no talk. Look at this, dude. I only saw the first Matrix. I forgot that they had multiple, redos of it. But look at that. Rambo, Matrix 4 starts off in San Francisco. Something to think about, and it's called Resurrections. Talking about the like underground, above ground, resurrecting, all the Christ symbolism. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's with the Super Bowl. Yes, that ties in. It ties right into Alice in Wonderland. The Matrix is based off of Alice in Wonderland. It's just a different way of. It's a different metaphor for the same thing, basically.
Right.
The Matrix, yeah.
Hey, Cody, you out there, brother? Welcome back.
Yeah, I've been trying to. I was just kind of waiting for everyone to. I missed most of what the caller said, to be honest. Unfortunately,
No, you're good. You're good.
My internet's obviously bad, and I have a feeling that it could kick me off again at any time, but hopefully not. But yeah, I missed most of what you guys were talking about. One part I did catch. Well, I came in. When did I come in? I come in like halfway through the last one, but yeah, I don't really remember what I'm kind of all over the place. I don't really know what you guys were even talking about. I mean, I know what you guys were talking about the last 10 minutes or so, but before that, I don't really know. But either way, there was something I was going to say now. There's something really important I wanted to add. Like, as I was, like, before, when I got kicked off, I wanted to say something too. And then now I'm just completely lost everything.
Now, he was talking about Eminem and Houdini. I don't know if that maybe clicked something, and then
no, it was something about man, it was something about December 19th again, or this what was it?
There was a comment that was pretty good. Don't forget that Eminem just recently performed at the halftime show randomly during the regular season with Jack White, right? So you kind of got that White Rabbit theme with
Jack
that.
Rabbit.
Yeah, the Jack Rabbit. There you go.
But I remember now what I was going to say. And it probably doesn't connect to anything you guys were talking about. I mean, maybe you guys talked about it, but I wanted to mention that the December 19th, right? We got that Judgment Day match. We got the Avatar movie coming out. Then a few days later, you got the 1225 years since Charlemagne was put in by Pope Leo. But on December 19th is actually another something happening. And I just realized it, like that I forgot to mention it. It's the closest approach to Earth of 3-Eye Atlas. So, let me get my screen up here. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, 3-Eye Atlas will make its closest approach to Earth on December 19th at approximately 170, so 17 again, million miles. So that's pretty crazy, because I've always thought that and what the last caller was saying, or somebody was saying, I don't know if with the last caller or Rambo, somebody mentioned like seeing through the veil or something, but I've always thought that this 3-Eye Atlas thing is all about the third eye at last, like being able to see through things at last, like read it, 3-Eye at last, like at last, like you're finally seeing through it, right? So think about that. December 19th, Jake Gyllenhaal's birthday. And in that movie, Donnie Darko, he collapses reality. He, like this whole thing with reality, right? And then on his birthday this year, you have these three things happening. You have the Judgment Day match with the rooster, like awakening, wake up. Like, and what's he say to Donnie in the movie? Wake up, right? Wake up. And so think about that. 3-Eye Atlas, third eye at last. Like at last, you're opening your third eye. At last, you're seeing clearly. You were blind, but now you see. So it seems that this is really like profound in a lot of ways, that all this stuff is landing on this date. And there might even be more things happening this day that I don't know about, but it seems like a lot of it is coming. Is Hanukkah's going on around this time as well, of course. So, and remember, Charlie Kirk was shot on a something that looked like a menorah. So that's also connecting. And somebody told me, I saw someone in the chat comment and said that Candace Owen is talking about how there could be a 9/11 style event in December. And maybe something happens with Candace Owens, like Candace Owens, she's saying she's going to get assassinated. 9/11 style event, December. Yeah, I guess this is a tweet by her. So thanks to whoever posted this. I didn't catch your name, but this is a tweet by Candace Owens saying they have been signaling that 9/11 style attack is coming this second week of December. Are you kidding me? All the stuff I've been talking about, the second week of December is during the time frame I've been talking about. And she's tweeting this. She tweeted it on November 28th. They have been signaling that a 9/11 style attack is coming the second week of November. She said it right out of her mouth. The question is it going to be, because she's been talking about how they're trying to take her out.
Yeah, she also called herself a Mason of Turning Point USA too.
Yeah, and remember, the big connection here is that December 7th, the 84th anniversary of, Pearl Harbor, all this stuff with the 84s that happened, and then December 7th, speaking of assassination stuff, like the word assassinate equals 127, right? Well, again, the date's 12/7, and it's 127 days after J.D. Vance's birthday.
31st prime.
Right. And that connects to Kirk too, right? With the 31st prime. So and this is the kill date. It's Pearl Harbor's 84th anniversary. And not only is it 127 days after J.D. Vance's birthday, but J.D. Vance's birthday this year was Tisha B'Av. So that makes it even more.
Theories that JD and Erica are going to end up together.
Yeah, and you don't forget how connected J.D. Vance is to this. He's the friend of these two, Charlie Kirk, and closer friends than Donald Trump is even, right? So, and J.D. Vance, I connected J.D. Vance to the Killing Moon song in what movie? Donnie Darko. That's one of my favorite videos. How I told everyone, J.D. Vance is the moon rabbit. He's the Killing Moon. He's perfectly aligned with the moon landing and the Killing Moon riddle from that movie, right? And he's obviously the Skull and Bones. He went to Yale, right? So it's just something with J.D. Vance. And if something happens to Trump, it's obviously going to be J.D. Vance too. So I'm not saying something will happen to Trump, but this is a prime day for something. I don't know what, but it is 24 days left in the year too. And that's interesting because that's a huge moon number too, because the moon landing happened in lunation 576, which is 24 times 24. So that's also interesting. But I think Rambo was going to say something.
I actually forgot what I was going to say, but one thing I can add is there's another movie coming out which I talked about last week on December 19th. That is David of David and Goliath. It's an animated musical. It's in theaters, and I've been talking about the underdog theme. The big underdog story was the mayoral election in New York City, but the David is coming out. The movie.
Yeah, it says December 19th, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's another one. So it's David, it's Avatar, and Atlas, I guess, all converging at that time.
Wow. Okay.
I've been seeing the number 19 come up a lot.
So December, or David and Goliath.
It was kind of that whole down theme too, right? David takes Goliath down.
Yeah, well, it's also there's another theme. I've been talking about Jack and the Beanstalk earlier, the golden goose.
Yeah, right.
So Jack, he's a thief. He steals a golden goose and the harp, and he goes down the beanstalk. He chops the beanstalk. The beanstalk falls, and the giant falls. It's about the fall of the giant. You know, we're talking about King Kong. That's the fall of a giant as well. And the Nephilim are seen as giants. That's why the New York Giants are so symbolic. The World Trade Center twin towers were giants. Those were the New York Giants. So the theme of the falling giant, the fallen angels, they're seen as the Anunnaki or Nephilim are also seen as portrayed in some places as fallen giants. The whole falling and fallen giants.
The jets take down the giant towers, right?
Yeah, so the whole theme of the falling giants is the back in the beanstalk, the falling giant. King Kong is the falling giant. So David kills Goliath. Goliath is the falling giant. That's the fallen angels, the Nephilim. Nephilim. So that's part of that theme that's been going on. The falling giant, it's the fallen angels, which I talked about. It comes from Paradise Lost, the fall of Lucifer. That's why 6-7 is. 6-7 is based on that, Paradise Lost, published in 1667. That's the fallen giant.
And shout out to Sunday 133. The Green Giant commercial, kind of tying us back to Hulk Hogan. Hulk, the big green giant Hulk.
Yeah, that's a Nephilim. So giant is a reference to the fallen angels.
Yeah.
It can be, in many cases. But that's what this December 19th. This is interesting. So much.
I mean, it's obviously in Saturnalia too, right? That's a big time, anyways.
Yes, during and what is Saturnalia? Again, it goes back to what I was talking about. What does Saturnalia? What are they celebrating? They're celebrating the golden age when Saturn ruled the world. That's exactly what Saturnalia is. It's celebrating the golden age when Saturn was the sun. And that's how life was. So what they do during Saturnalia is they're trying to reenact the world the way it was during the golden age when Saturn was the sun. There's no money. There's no ownership of anything. There are no jobs. So there was harmony, low tech, yes. And that's what they did during Saturnalia. You didn't work, you didn't.
Oh my gosh.
They went a little overboard, but.
So this woman, her birthday is December 19th. And, I was just telling you guys about the actress that died this year from Buffy Vampire Slayer, named Dawn in the show. Her name's Dawn. And now this woman, her birthday is that day. And she's born in 1969, the year of the moon landing. Christy Swan, son. Swan, a black swan event. A swan event, that unexpected event that no one's ready for. That's what they call it in markets and stuff. Swan,
So the swan is the constellation of Cygnus. Cygnus is the swan, which is right next to, like I pointed out, Cepheus the king, the home plate symbol, right next to Polaris. They're all together there. The swan, right. Cygnus, the home plate, the dragon, Polaris, the little bear, the cub, they're all together. So Swanson, that's also the name of the pilot. There's the pilot who I guess was at the controls, they say, when the plane landed upside down in Toronto, the Delta, on Michael Jordan's birthday in 2025. The pilot's name was Swanson too. That was part of, that's Toronto, that's Drake's hometown, Drake, male duck. Swanson was the pilot.
Crazy.
You know what's crazy too, you guys? I don't mean to pivot left here really quick, but Cody, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind just opening up a new tab and type in Sorry Charlie, right? That's the name of my newest book. And as I'm wrapping it up, I just type in Sorry Charlie. And sure enough, I come across a movie that's called Sorry Charlie, which came out in, I think it was 2023. And Cody, I know you were out at this time. We were talking about Manhattan and the Mad Hatter. And we were talking about Lincoln, assassinated. He's known for his top hat. But look at the cover of this movie. It's about this murderer who wears a black top hat, essentially. And apparently it's based off of a true story. And now this ties into all the infant stuff that we were talking about, because essentially what this murderer does is he preys on women, and he'll play sounds of an infant baby crying to get a woman to come out of her house, or, to essentially go where the sound of the crying baby is. So I just, none of this is in my book. I saw this last minute and I was just like, wow, that's really interesting. Just in line with everything that we've been talking about. So.
Yeah. I mean, that does fit with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, connecting to Abraham Lincoln, connecting to what we started out talking about with all that other stuff, like the ducks and the, I mean, everything ties together, I feel like, in the end, but like the main themes, I mean, Lincoln was super connected to Kirk, right? So.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that in there really quick.
I mean, we just talked about Charlie Conway, right? And that and then the Dallas North Stars, their last game was on Lincoln's death anniversary. So yeah, I mean, that's Sorry Charlie.
Yeah. You know what? Sorry also has that double R. All three of us have been talking about that RR lately. But
yeah, anyways. I mean, I don't know. I just like, and then going back to this real fast, like, I don't know what, like, and then this guy posted, Sam Parker, Laura Loomer really wants us to know that another 9/11 style attack is coming soon, and that it was the Muslims who did it. I don't know what this is. Laura Loomer's posting this stuff. I don't know. I mean, loomer, like something's looming. Like, so there's actually a guy in WWE who's in the dark group that I've mentioned on here before, the Wyatt Six. You guys might remember when I talked about the Wyatt Six. But the guy, they have the sickle. They actually have their symbol is the sickle with the raven or the crow. And then, but yeah, one of the guys in that group is called Dexter Loomis, like looming. Something is looming. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. And I don't know. Candace Owens did say, I don't, like I said, maybe it's nothing, but hopefully it is nothing. But maybe it's just a part of the connection to this December 7th date. You know, like they clearly knew that. I guarantee you, they clearly knew that the United States was 9, 10, 25 days old on Charlie Kirk's funeral, which was the day he was shot. So that was being measured. And like I said, the measurement to the end of this year is lining up perfectly as well. So
kind of like Lex Luthor LL2, tying back to Superman, and Charlie is now the Man of Steel because apparently his neck can stop a hunting bullet.
And notice that she says at the end, she says, "Save this tweet; it will age well." So she's like being very like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like that's what she's trying to. So she's a big part of this. Like, I did one video on her, but I think she's born 1566 days after Trump or something. She's connected to this with the 1566. That's all I remember. I wish I could remember the exact measurement, but. And her husband is obviously English, farmer. He's a farmer, right? Like a sickle, like a. But yeah, I think that's all. But the AI Atlas thing is on December 19th is a big piece that I forgot earlier, which I'm glad I was able to get that in here. Because like I said, when I was looking up the 3i, you know, like I was thinking, you know, third eye. Right, like at last, right? Like that's kind of what I'm getting from this symbolism, like third eye at last, like at last.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. All right, I think we've maxed ourselves out tonight, you guys. I think it's about that time to wrap things up.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so let me just get our slides back here really quick for closing comments. Let me get just a second, folks. Cody, my man, if you wouldn't mind reintroducing yourself, final plug, let people know where they can find you. Anything else you're working on? I know that you got some things going on with Sean coming up.
Yeah,
which is exciting. What you got? Did I lose him again?
It's audio.
Yeah, he's still in here.
It was a great stream, and I really appreciated, you know.
Oh man, he's getting cut out big time.
Can you guys hear me?
Cody.
Testing, 1, 2.
Hello.
Testing 1, 2. Testing.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Testing 1, 2. Can anyone hear me?
Apparently not.
I can hear him.
I mean, I can hear him. Yeah, I don't think he can hear us.
He can't hear us. Maybe if he sees us talking, he can tell that he can't hear us.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll plug Cody myself. Hello,
now?
Cody, you there?
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay, I'm back, I think.
What's up, brother? Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Gosh, man. Yeah, so I was just saying, what was I saying? It was a great stream. I appreciate everything, and thanks for everyone being here. And again, if you guys want to find me, you can find me on the channel that you're watching on, some of you, Decoding with Cody. And
he cut out again. It's all good. It's all good, Cody. Yeah. Hey, you guys, please make sure to check out Decoding with Cody 589 on YouTube. I know that he's streaming on his YouTube channel as well. So I know the majority of you guys are familiar with Cody and his work. Brilliant mind and a dear friend. So make sure to check him out. You guys can also support him financially with at buymeacoffee.com, Decoding with Cody. Rambo, if you wouldn't mind closing us out, my friend, please.
It looks like your camera is zoomed in on you.
Yeah, I don't. This camera is like a sniper rifle, you know.
Yeah. Thanks again. Thanks for putting this together. As always. Thanks to Cody and the callers, the two great callers, and everybody in the audience, the ones who left comments, even those who didn't leave comments. It's everybody, the audience as a whole. And I've put out my video, The Hand of God. Part 1 is out. It's on patreon.com/thetruthcodes. I'll have it part 2. That I'll do later. And then I'll do a video on what I presented tonight on the real meaning of turning point and the astronomical, alignment with the home plate and all that. Yeah, I'll do a video on that. And I'm also going to do something on the falling angels. Talk about the falling symbolism and the fallen angels. Those are things I'll be working on. So until then, you can find me at patreon.com/thetruthcodes and at instagram.com/thetruthcodes. And thanks again for putting this together.
Absolutely, Rambo. I mean, this show wouldn't be what it is without you, especially, and Cody. I mean, it's just beautiful that it started with us, and then the community helped glue Cody together with us as well. So we're building a wonderful community. Major shout out to the viewers, to the commentators, to the callers. You guys make only our work even better. And it's humbling too. I mean, you guys teach me a lot every single week, and it means a lot. Mighty says, Rambo is so gracious. Someone whose name rhymes with smackery could learn something. So anyways, without further ado, we'll close it out. Just a final reminder, if you guys are interested in my book, it is available for free. Just send me an email at wordplaybook3osinbook@gmail.com. If you guys are interested in a hard copy, let me know. If you're a Patreon member, it'll be $11 including shipping, or $31 for non-members. We love you all. Thank you guys again so much for everything. It means the world to me. It means the world to Rambo and Cody. I know that. I want to speak on your guys' behalf. It's great. And I look forward to next week.
Yeah, thanks. Take care.
All right, you guys. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
If you didn't know, forever exploring the interdimensional primordial historian moratorium, just hanging around telling stories in the Hyperborean DeLorean.